Alright, it's 7, let's go. I was almost a little bit late today, just because I got distracted. Because I'm pulling things out of the pressure pot. Good morning. Hey, Nate. How are you? I think this is just a spare D20. Meh, that's fair. I'm good. Cold though. This room gets very cold. There's no actual vent in this room, so it's kind of chilly. And I mean, it's in the basement, so it has some insulation to it, but still, just a little cold in here. Alright, this was just yeah, I do keep my house fairly cold too. Yeah, you like it cold. Well, to be fair, you live with someone who keeps things very, very warm. I keep my house pretty cold. 'Cause your apartment, your thermostat. Fair, fair. Looks like some of these sank. Here, maybe I'm hoping, we'll see how these turned out. They might end up looking not quite. Oh, okay. Compromise to have it at 69 or 70. That seems like a reasonable place to have it at. I have my house at like 65 though. Like, I have it cold. Doesn't quite blend in as much as I would have liked, but it's okay. So let's see if I can show this to you. So I have, well, it looks pretty good on there. Let me see if I can. Let me grab my lamp here. I'll show you what my idea was for this set of dice. That seems like a fatal flaw in the plan if Amber's room doesn't heat up, since she's the one that likes everything really warm. It's sort of glow in the dark. I'll show you what I mean by that in just a second here. Turn off the light. The idea was to make it look, the pigment look like it glows in the dark, but instead, you know, there's a whole bunch of light here from the monitor, but it's filled with little glow-in-the-dark stars. It's hard to see. So it itself isn't glow-in-the-dark, but there's little glow-in-the-dark stars there that are glow-in-the-dark. I was trying to make it so that they blended in. Put my back on. So that the stars blended into the background, and I kind of succeeded. You can still kind of see them though, but I feel like it turned out all right. Yeah, from far away you can't see them, but if you look at it, you can see you can see all the little tiny stars. Yeah, here I haven't got this one out of the mold yet. You can see it'll. You can see the focus. It focused for a second there. All the little tiny stars. You can kind of see them there. I was hoping they'd blend in a little bit more, but that's okay. Hey Jen! We're going to be working on your dice today. But I'm unmolding things first. I put them in last night. So I think it was, I can't remember when exactly I did it. I think it was fairly late, so I wanted to let them sit as long as possible before unmolding. Oh my, that's a whole bunch of extra. This is also a spare dice. Die, not dice. Dice is plural. I've started making some spare dice in not the Crystal D4 molds, since there's, well, Bosun especially has been asking for sets of raw dice. So I've been starting to make some just one-off dice to add to my box of raw dice. Oh, how are you, Jen? You're drawing. Oh, cool. More like characters and stuff? And having fun. Good. That's good. I'm glad you're having fun. Yeah, once they're out of the mold and it's a little bit harder to see them, which is good. I definitely had some of the stuff fall off and fall to the face at the bottom. It's coming out very nicely. Oh, cool. Oh yeah, this one definitely had ones that fell. Oh well. I'll show you what I'm talking about here, about them falling to the bottom. So here's the face that was up. Actually, now that I'm looking at it, it's definitely harder to see those. It doesn't want to focus. Just a second. Grab my planner. My planner, I left it on my desk, and it seems that a cat decided that it was a scratching post, which it was not. So there's all sorts of claw marks in it now. Alright, so here's the side face that was up. See if I can get it to focus. Come on, you can do it. I know you can. Why is it not? Come on! It doesn't want to focus. Come on, focus. 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 There we go. You can see there's only like 2 dots there because they all fell to the bottom. Oops, that's the wrong side. To the bottom. Look how many. All this stuff fell down to that side. That's okay. At least some of them stayed. And then these ones, this set was super experimental. So we'll see how these look. It's a Petri with just blue, and then I put some strange stuff in here. Let's see how it looks. Oof, did I need my... I have so much resin scrap. I really need to find something good to do with all of this resin scrap, because I have so much of it. I don't know, what do people usually do with all this resin scrap? Alright. Now let me pull these out before I make a little chest piece. I don't know if that'll fit in a D20, but that's the idea. Or a D12 would be even better. It might be a little bit big. I might end up having to make a chest piece out of polymer clay. I've got another commission. We're going to be doing different items in each die again. Huh. You know, well, the Petri didn't work very well, but the stuff that I put in it turned out, I actually like how that looks. So, yeah, the blue didn't really turn out, but let's see if I can get it to focus. It never likes to focus. It has this sort of shiny material in here, if you can see it. Just kind of, it's reflective. It has some light coming off of it. Let me grab my planner again so you can see. Like I said, the blue didn't really turn out, but the orange here, see if it'll focus. It likes to find a hand to focus on instead. So let's do that instead. Come on. Except it doesn't want to find my hand to focus on this time. Let's see if I can center it, if it'll... It really doesn't want to focus. Come on, focus. There we go. See that kind of shiny, reflective orange material in there? Very, very reflective and shiny. I'm wondering whether I should reveal my secret there of what this is, or if anybody can guess. If you want to try and guess what that is, if anyone has any guesses for what the this reflective, shiny orange stuff is. I'm wondering if any of you will guess it correctly. I feel like it's not too difficult to figure out. Wow. Buffalo sauce. Not quite. It is a dry material. It's like little sheets of orange. Wow, it really does not find the color well. Little flakes. Really doesn't want to focus. Yes, it's gold or copper flakes. Yeah, this is onion skin. This is the like outer shell of an onion. I'll grab another piece from over here that my brother pulled off and was like, "Hey, that's really shiny," and handed to me. This one's not as shiny as some of these. This here, like, this is the piece that I like kind of pulled off of. It's just very like reflective, and so I'm really happy with how that looks. I'm like I said, I'm not a big fan of the blue. I shouldn't have done the blue. You're still, are you still guessing, yeah, so I guess you were closer with the buffalo sauce. I'll give you that one. Somehow you were closer with buffalo sauce. How is Amber liking her new job, Nate? She enjoying it? Oh man, just a second. This might be a little sticky. Yeah, I know. When she said it was triplets and they were still less than a year, it was like, oh boy. Hey, Beta. I'm just unmolding some stuff before I get to work making new dice. You missed everyone's guess for what this shimmery orange-ish material is in here. I think, depending on when you showed up. If you haven't heard what it is, I'd be interested to know what your guess is for what it is. Let's see if I can. There we go. But 11 months with this up at different times, so it's a little. Oh well, yeah, that makes sense. But still, 11-month-old triplets. Oh boy. Oh hey! Beta got it right. Yes, it's onion skin. Oh, one likes to scream and pull hair. Oh gosh, that's something that they're gonna need to learn not to do. We'll take another look at these ones once I have them all out. We can put them under a light. Oh yeah, I wonder how these ones turned out. Oh, this one has a bubble in it. That's unfortunate. I ended up dyeing my molds on this one, and I kind of expected that. But let's see how the dice look. Yeah, they ended up a little bit more pink than I would have liked. I was going for kind of a blood splatter effect. I think it kind of worked. Used to pull all the onion skin off the onions. There's something satisfying about that. I don't like chopping onions just because I hate that it makes my eyes hurt. But there is something. Oh, I eat so many onions. We eat so many onions in my house, at my house. Like, I had onions right before this. It was part of sort of a soup, but We eat so many onions. I think it runs in the family. Like, yeah, pretty sure it runs in the family. My grandpa also loves onions. At least he did at one point. Yeah, I don't know that I like the blue. It didn't really sink all that well. It just kind of ended up on one side, but I do like how the onion skin ended up looking. So that's something I'll have to use again. I'm happy with how that ended up looking, because it definitely ended up being kind of foil-like having a little bit of shimmer and stuff. You like the taste, but the texture gets you. That's fair. That's fair. I don't know. Yeah. There's some things. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I think this worked as a blood splatter. It did end up a little dyed pink, I must admit. The dye itself ended up a little bit pink, but I think the blood splatter effect kind of worked. So maybe I'll do that a little bit differently next time, but that was also, I was doing some tests, if you couldn't tell. I was trying out some different things. These ones were ones that I had just wanted to make. And again, I'll show you the full effect of those after I get everything unmolded. But well, I guess you could do stuff with onions where they're not whole then, because you could have like, I don't know. Is it the raw texture that gets you, or the cooked texture that gets you? Because I guess those are different. Because I guess cooked onions can be kind of slimy-ish, depending on how you look at it. But the raw ones are kind of crunchy. So like I like those on sandwiches and stuff. Just a little bit of onion, because I like onion, but a little bit of crunch. You gotta cook them right. I feel like that's how it is with like a lot of vegetables, especially the ones where the texture's wrong. Like just, I don't know. Some vegetables it's just like, this would be okay, but the texture's weird. And I feel like that's always the response to that, is that you gotta cook them right. Oh yeah, yeah. I feel like a lot of vegetables are really good if you don't get rid of all the crunchiness. Like you just cook them enough to soften them up a little bit, but there's still some crunch to them. Like broccoli is really good that way. Yeah. Alright. These, yeah. A couple of these were just tests, like I said. The blood splatter one was a test. The onion peel was a test. These ones, though, were just ones that I've been wanting to make ever since I got the glitter form. No, that's fair. That makes sense. They're definitely like stronger, I think, when they're raw. Like, they definitely have a really strong flavor when raw, and then they get kind of slimy when you cook them. I get that. I like them both, but more for me. I think maybe I'll do these, like ink these blood splatter ones, maybe like a gunmetal color, like barbarian dice. That's my thought. Also, I have switched over, except for on commissions, because I don't have it listed as such, to making dice with the crystal D4 shape instead of the other D4 shape, like the regular one. Just because I like the crystal D4 shape. It just holds up better. It has more structure to it, I guess. Also less likely that you're going to stab yourself if you drop it. Yeah, see, I'm not a pickle person. There, see, it works out. You gotta have that one friend that likes the food that you don't like, so you can just swap. I'm like that with like mushrooms with the rest of my family. The rest of my family likes mushrooms, but I'm just like, not really. So they get all my mushrooms. lot of people say that they don't like mushrooms because of the texture. It's not really the texture for me. It is the flavor. It's just a very earthy flavor. I'm not a big fan. I don't know. Maybe I'd like them if I tried them now. Maybe I could do mushrooms now. It's been a while since I've really just like eaten mushrooms, but I don't know. Might be one of those flavors where it's like, it's not really for me, but I can understand why other people like it. Like, I feel like I'm strange because like black licorice is one of those foods where people usually either love it or hate it. And for me, I'm kind of like, I'm not a big fan of this, but I can see why other people like it. But I guess I'm kind of that way with mushrooms too. I'm just like, I'm not a big fan of these, but I can see why other people like them. They seem to be a fairly common one that people don't like though. But I don't know. I'm the only one in my immediate family. Again, my grandfather does not like mushrooms, so maybe I get it from him. Alrighty, I'm almost done here. I just have 3 more after this one. I don't know. What do you guys think? So I like I said, I like the onion peel look in these. I don't know about with the blue though. What do you guys think? I don't know. Should I still sell them? Should I just? I mean, I guess someone else might like it with a little bit of blue, but it's really only on one side. I could ink them in that same blue color. That might help. Let's see. Your mom used to put mushrooms on things she didn't want your dad to eat. Oh. Wow. Yeah, it's not that I don't necessarily, I like the blue colors alright. My problem is that it all ended up on one side. It didn't really sync. So I'm thinking maybe I will end up inking it in that same blue color to try and tie it in a little bit. I don't do a lot of Petri dice. Like, I feel like different people seem to be really good at different things with resin. My thing is dirty pours, and it's not Petri. I feel like it just never sinks quite right. I need to do them like earlier, or in slightly warmer conditions where my resin isn't as goopy. I work with my resin when it's really honey-ish. Like, I don't know. Some people do not like working with resin when it's really thick, but I don't know. I seem to thrive when my resin is very thick. Yeah, I definitely like this sort of look here, how it like, if you look around the edges, it like sort of went into the corners, oops, and sunk down into the corners. I feel like that worked out. I might have to, oh, and actually didn't stain my molds too much. I was thinking I was going to stain my molds even more than it did. And you can see it stained my molds a little bit, and that's because of how I did this. I did it with a resin pigment and not an alcohol ink, and so I let it dry completely before. Oh, I think I could do some really cool splatter paint dice. I'm just realizing that I could do some really cool splatter paint dice with some acrylic paint. Like, I think that's probably how people have done them in the past. Splatter some acrylic paint into these, and then let it dry, and then pour the resin. That'd probably be cool. I should try that at some point. I'd have to go upstairs and grab some acrylic paint though, so I'll probably do that some other time. Oops. Oh. So I have 2 sorts of plans for dice that I'm going to be making today. One of them is the commission set that Jen ordered. Ooh, this is very sticky. One of them I grabbed some feathers and some foil that I thought would look really pretty together. I want to put them into a die. I don't know if I want to do maybe some. I think I want something else with it too, but I'm still deciding. I have a couple of ideas. And then I kind of want to do another floral thing. I really like working with florals. Like, I don't know, it's just, there's something fun about making things with flowers in them. I do have high hopes for Jen's dice. My only concern with those is, I'll show you the flowers that we have for those, so that it's going to be flowers, there's going to be flowers now. My only concern for those is that the flowers are so delicate, and I don't want to lose any of the petals or anything. So we're going to have to figure out how to get those in the resin without the resin being like so heavy that it pulls on the flowers. But maybe I'll do some tests with one of the not as nice stems. I'm just trying to pull some of this resin off so I can get this out of the way. Okay, so I do have these out for the commission set. I think I want a set that's down for the feathers one. So D12. That's this one. That's D12. I accidentally pulled all of the writing off of this one with the resin. There we go. 6. Ah, here we go. Okay, that seems to be fine. I have somewhere, one of my molds just seems to have an issue, and I'm not sure which mold it is. Doesn't seem to be any of these ones. Okay, D6. Oh, I need D8. D8, D6, D4, and then for the last thing, should I try and finish? Well, I definitely do want to try and finish those, so I'm gonna grab a D6. Doesn't matter if that's up or down, that's fine. Actually, I want a D6 up, I think. Doesn't really matter, but I'm going to do that. What I'm going to be doing is, so I have the bumblebee dice that I've been working on off and on. I have pretty much done, except for the D6 and the D4. I actually made a D6 and a D4, but I don't like them. And I'll show you why. I'm gonna remake them fairly similar. The D6 is just a little bit too dark. Makes it really hard to see the little bumblebees in here, little metal bumblebees. So I want to make that a little bit lighter, so that it's easier to see into there. Also, it's just a little bit too close to the color of the D8, so I want a little bit more variation. And then the D4, I'm gonna do a dirty pour again, and I like the lighter yellow color and this kind of golden color in the middle, but the darkest color there is just a little too red. So I want to turn that into a little bit more of a honey color instead of a red color. It's just a little bit too red. So I think I'm going to grab those as well. So I want D4 down and D6 up for that. And I might do a D12 as well. Oh, you know what? I'm going to. Oh well, I have a. Kind of looks like tea. Oh yeah, it does kind of look like tea. Wait, which one? The D4 or the D6? I should make tea dice at some point. I like tea. I might try doing a D12 again, because I reached out to the person that was getting these to get their feedback on stuff, and they do actually like this, but I don't know, I feel like maybe I could add something to this. I don't know, this one has grown on me. I think I'm not going to even try and redo the D12. I think that one's good. We're just going to call that good. D12. Let me put these away. Oh, yeah. It kind of does. Okay, let me put these 4 down. Okay. 20. I rearranged my molds a little bit so that I can get to them easier, which is nice. D6. So I was just thinking so it's really easiest for me to work in batches of like 100 milliliters or less of resin, just because one of these holds 100 milliliters. And so if I was trying to do these and this and another set of dice, that would be very, very close to the 100, and I like to have a little bit of extra. And so what I think I might do is do these and do a set of fake dice. And I think I'm going to try and redo a design that didn't quite work out because the mold that I used had an issue. Not D8. Oh, my stuff is kind of a mess over here a little bit. Let's move that out. Okay. Another D8. And that's going to take a little bit of setup, but I think that then we're going to have plenty of resin, because 30, 60, and then this takes, we'll say 20 to 80. We'll probably end up making 100 milliliters, just because I have to be in even ones, because I need to do this 2-part and you have to have an even amount. And it's just going to be like easier that way. So, oh, you know what I might do if I have a little bit of extra? Think about this just a second. I might do a set of 2 pipped dice if I have extra clear resin. And I'll show you why on that as well in just a second after I finish getting all this off of here so I can put this away. There's my alright. Now there's still all sorts of resin here. It's just clear. I might have added a little bit too much hardener, I worry, because this seems a little brittle. But I think that'll be okay. That's the nice thing about also this shape instead of the like traditional D4 shape, is that it's just a little bit stronger, just because it has more, it's thicker in all points compared to the triangle D4. Alright, so a couple things that I want to show you. One, I think I'm going to try and remake these dice, because I just love the color shift on these. Like, look at that. Isn't that just cool? I love a good multi-chrome. Look at that purple to orange kind of look. Yeah, so I want to maybe retry doing these, which will take a little bit of setup, because these ones, there was an issue with the mold, and it bubbled up. You see the corner here, it bubbled up. And the thing with how these are made is that I cannot sand these, because it will mess up the multi-chrome. So that's just, these are just not going to work. And then if I have I know, I like them too. And the reason I grabbed the extra pipped mold is because I'm thinking I'm going to do a set of 6 pipped dice as just something that you can get next restock, and it's going to be like 2 of different colors. So I have these kind of pink and orange, and these blue and teal, and they have, so I'm gonna do like 2 more, and that'll be a set of 6. I'll need to figure out what color I want to do that I haven't done yet. Maybe like a yellow and something, because I want them all to be different. But we'll see if we have enough resin for that anyways. Yes, so what else? Oh, and then last thing before I get into it, I wanted to show you these dice if I can, because I feel like I want to see them and how well this worked out. So the idea was I was making dice that, did you guys ever have like those stars on your ceiling as a kid, like the kind of yellowish ones? I wanted to make dice that were kind of that color, and the reason that I wanted them to be that color is so that they blended it, the glitter that I put in them blended in. And I will show you, I'll show you on the crystal here, I'll show you the glitter that I put in, because they themselves aren't glow in the dark, but the little star glitters in them are. I got these little tiny glow in the dark stars and moons and stuff. Oh, it's hard to see because I have the light of the monitor here in front of me. But they really don't hold a very good charge. But they have little tiny stars on them. Yeah, you really can't see. Let me turn the lights back on. It's hard to see with the light from the monitor. But they've got little tiny stars in there. It's always kind of, well, it's not, I don't know that it's funny necessarily. It's just kind of, I don't know, ironic. That's a good word. It seems ironic to me. I had stars on my ceiling as a kid, so I'm like, I like this idea. I'm going to do this. What I was going to say though is, it seems like the dice that sometimes look fairly simple or take more time to make. Like, I feel like they look fairly simple, but they took more time because I was individually placing all of those stars on the inside of the mold. I was telling a friend, a D&D buddy, that making matte dice takes a lot more time than making polished dice. Not necessarily a lot more time, but it's more work to make matte dice than it is to make polished dice, like shiny dice. And that's because I have to sand all of the individual sides. With the polished ones, I usually only have to do, probably the most that I have to do is on a D20, I have to do 4 faces. Whereas with the matte ones, I have to do all of the individual sides. And that seems backwards. It seems like the matte one should be like less time, right? So they were just like, that seems backwards. Alright. I'm gonna grab the things that we're gonna need. This is gonna take a little bit. So I got this multi-chrome powder. There we go, you can see the shift there. This stuff makes a mess. Makes an absolute mess. So that's gonna be for this. I have a couple of things for Jen's commission set. I have some heat sensitive powder. It turns here. I'm gonna put this in my pocket and we'll see the color it turns while I work on this one. But it's a nice teal color. And then when it gets warm, it's supposed to turn clear. And then also these beautiful little forget-me-nots, which maybe it'll focus. Maybe not. Maybe it won't focus. Well, anyways, little stalks of forget-me-nots. And then the other thing for that is, oops, if I don't pull things out from underneath other things, some gold foil. I assume you're still thinking gold foil, Jen. I think that would be really nice. Okay, so that's that for that. for this set, I really want to use some of these feathers that I have, just because they're just very pretty. There's so much glare. I don't know if I can, but I have these feathers that just have all sorts of pattern and color to them. Let me pull a few out so we can just see them. This one's a little bit, that's not great. But let me pull out a few and set them here so you can see these feathers. Some of these are a little bit not as nice as others, but there's these feathers that I have, and they have a little bit of like some green in them. A little bit of green in them. And I want to do those with this kind of like multicolored foil that I have. It has all sorts of different colors in it because I think they'll match really well. So that's what I want to do in this set. I'm thinking I might want something else with that too. Maybe a little bit of glitter. Not like glitter, but like a little bit of like a shimmer to it. Or a little bit of color. I don't know what color. Like a really, really pale color. Oh, these feathers, I don't know what bird they're from. They're from like an old hat that was falling apart that I think an old roommate found at like a thrift store. Like it was like an old hat that was just falling apart. It was covered in feathers. Put those off to the side for now. I'll put those here so we can see the chat still. There we go. Yeah, I don't know what kind of bird it is. Really don't know. But they're pretty. So we've got that. We've got these, which I think, again, I might add a little bit of shimmer to, which we can look through my bucket of colors. Figure that out. And then these ones, I need to get some sort of honey color for them, which I'll do after let's just start on this first, and then we can figure that out. So I'll show you why this makes a giant mess. And it came with just a little like makeup applicator for using this. Like it came with it, which is kind of nice. There's a little bit in the lid here. Doesn't come off the lid there. All right. You can see. Oh. Look at that. Isn't that just pretty? It's not even in focus and it's pretty. But the problem is that I build up enough static by rubbing this onto the silicone that then it fluffs everywhere. All right, so I'm just going to get some on here and just start rubbing it start with the lid. That's the easiest part. And if I look at it from an angle, it doesn't look all that well covered, but if you look at it from the top, it's all shimmery, which is the important part. Need a little bit more in this corner though. I'm just going to try and buff that in a little bit because I want to make sure that it's covered. It's going to be nice and shimmery. So here, I'll show you. Like it doesn't, if you look at it straight on, it does not look like it's covered well. And then you angle it and that whole thing just has a shimmer to it. And that's the important part I've realized, is that it has that shimmer to it. You're not going to notice if it's not covered perfectly evenly as long as it's all shimmery. The reason that I haven't done this on a regular set of dice is because, like I was saying earlier, I really can't sand the dice that I do this to. Because obviously it's on the very outside layer of the dice. Because I'm rubbing it onto the insides of the molds. And I have not gotten to a point where I can make the dice without sanding them. Except for with D6s. I fairly consistently now I can make a D6 that doesn't require any sanding. So I've only been doing this on the 6-sided dice like these, where I'm fairly certain that I won't need to sand them at all. They just come out as I'd like. I'm not even touching this to the material, by the way. It just has a little bit of static on it now that I've been rubbing it against the silicone, and it just kind of like flies up to it. The problem is that when it does that, it also flies out of the container. That's what I was saying about it being a mess. It's all nice and shiny. I could use a little bit more. Ooh. In the corners here. But yes, I ordered this flake for myself. Little, they're called chameleon flakes. That's it's a multi-chrome. When I got the powder for Jen's dice, just because I was just like, I really want one of those, and I've been wanting one of those for a while. I'm just gonna get it. I'm gonna get one for myself. And now I want all of them because it's just so pretty. But again, I don't know necessarily how I'm gonna use it with these sets of dice. I do think that I kind of want to do like a tray maybe. With this as like the lip part. Do I have a tray down here? Here, I have one that didn't turn out. So like, ignore the funky part in the middle of this tray, but just doing like this, the upper part in that, and then doing, I don't know, some other color here. Yeah, this one is an interesting fail. Maybe I'll go through my fails box at some point. This one's an interesting fail. I accidentally created a seal with the mold and this when I put it into the pressure pot, and so it tried to like, when I compressed it, all that suction happened. Ah, well. Alright, that seems to be pretty covered. What is that? That's a piece of resin. Get out of there. Alright. Like I said, the lid's the easy part on this one. It's the, it's in here that's the hard part, because I have to try and work it all the way around. I think I'm going to switch to the end here that's a little bit smaller, because I want to try and buff it into all of the sides here, but I have a slightly smaller work area. Ah, there we go. By the way, Jen, when you finish your drawing, feel free to show it off in chat. That's really just me wanting to see your drawing, but, oops, I shouldn't laugh towards this. It's spreading everywhere. No! Yeah, this stuff is so fine that every little draft of air, me breathing at it, is, causes it to, like, puff up. I'm gonna pick up some of these bigger pieces that fluffed out. Oh, that's fair. Probably don't want to post that to Twitch then, just in case. Oh yeah. That works for me. Or I guess you don't know my Tumblr. I was gonna say you could message it to me on Tumblr or something, but I guess you don't have my Tumblr. Okay, let me see. It doesn't look like it's coated very well in here, but I think it actually is. I'm just trying to make sure I have it all into all the little edges here. That's the hard part, is getting it along the edges. Okay. It doesn't look like it's covered very well, and then, but if I get light shining on it, the whole thing is shimmery. So that's the important. Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, that would work. I feel like it's not hard to find my regular Tumblr from my shop Tumblr, considering when I reply to things, like questions people ask on my shop Tumblr posts, it always posts from my main blog, so. Well. Lore master and black market dealer of tiefling cuddles. Is that what I'm hearing? It's you. I think we found your full title. Lord Osmosis, keeper of the lore and black market dealer of tiefling cuddles. I don't know if there's anything we can add to that. Oh gosh. What have I wrought upon this chat? No, what have you wrought upon? Yeah, the words. Upon. That was the word I was looking for. Upon. I did finally kind of sit down and be like, what all do I want to do? Because there's so many different things that I want to, like, do. I don't know, I guess I want to contribute to some of the things that entertain me. If that makes sense. Like, I understand that, like, I probably should look at a lot of things as, this as like a hobby, but I also, I don't know. I think part of it's just, I don't know, I feel like I have to be productive at all times. Which you don't. But that's how my brain works. But I want to, like, create things like the things that entertain me. Well, when there's only you and someone... Oh, wait, yeah. To be fair, I think it says there's only 2 people viewing at the moment, so my chat is 100% lesbians at the moment. It is still amusing to me. You won. Wow. Nate, come back! Save me! No, what was I saying? Ooh, how did I get a big piece of resin in here? No, I want to contribute to, like, the things that I enjoy. I mean, and I've always enjoyed being a show-off. That's for sure. Twitch streaming, I feel like that's a given. So I'm enjoying making dice, so there's that, but there's so many other things that I want to do, too. And I think I've kind of made my list now. Now I just have to figure out how to do it. My list is comprised of, and I have it written down over there in my planner, which I brought downstairs because I wrote down what all I wanted to do, I was doing for Jen's dice here. I went and looked at my notes earlier today and being like, oh, I'm forgetting something. What is it? It was the gold foil. And let's see, it was continue making and crafting things to sell. Because I enjoy this. This is fun. And I have dice in parentheses there because dice seem to be doing well and I enjoy making them. And then I had, what's the next thing? Oh, I had Twitch written down because I enjoy streaming on Twitch. And then I had voiceover written down, and that's more of a maybe I'll pursue that as a career sort of thing. I don't know. I feel like that's one of the things that is hard to do as a hobby. I don't know how I would do that as a hobby. If I could do that as a hobby, I would do that as a hobby probably. But I'm figuring out how I want to pursue that. And then YouTube videos. Because I'm thinking if I want to, I don't know, I've been thinking about YouTube for a while now. I've posted a couple of YouTube videos before, just because, like I said, I want to like contribute to the things that I enjoy, and I enjoy watching YouTube videos. I'm trying to get this into all the corners. Easier said than done. And I've been thinking of doing like arts and crafts videos of like making dice and stuff on there. I haven't because editing is a pain. That's why I stopped making YouTube videos, because like I said, I've made like 3 YouTube videos that I have on there. But editing is just, I don't know, editing takes so much time. And I'm not good at it. But I was thinking that if I did want to record Minecraft, like a Minecraft SMP, like on an SMP, so survival multiplayer, I'd probably want to do that as YouTube videos. And then I'd also stream it maybe every once in a while I'm grinding and stuff, but I'd probably want to do that as YouTube videos and not just purely streams. Because I feel like that can get Minecraft can get very boring. And it's not really boring. Like, I enjoy just mining and stuff, but it can get very repetitive because there is a certain amount of grinding in it. And I think if I was going to do that, I would want to set up some sort of multiplayer thing. Because I have I haven't really played Minecraft by myself because I like it as like a social thing. I've been playing with my brother and a friend. So I think it'd be fun to set up like a server. Have to figure out how to do that. But yeah, I'd probably do that more as YouTube videos. So maybe that, YouTube videos of that, and or arts and crafts. Still deciding on that. But I think I've kind of figured out some things that I want to work on or focus on, put my energy towards. I just have to figure out how I'm going to do that now. Because I wonder how well this. Ooh, that's so staticky. That's the problem, is it's so staticky that I bring anything near it and it just fluffs up all over the place. And then it gets all over my table, and then it just sticks to my table, and I can't get anything off of my table. Oh no, did I scare off the lesbians? No, come back! Little angry face in chat. Ah. Where did that go? I dropped it. There we go. Come back! I have pretty ladies somewhere. Not sure where. You're also drawing. Oh, cool. That is excellent. I enjoy that other people are working on crafts while hanging out with me while I do crafts. I should probably watch more streams. I don't like watch a lot of other people's streams. I don't know, I show up every once in a while, but applying stretch marks as one should. Oops, there's a cat hair there. I think it takes more energy on my part to watch streams because I feel like I have to interact with it more than like watching a YouTube video. Like YouTube videos I don't really have to interact with. It's more of a one-way thing. I'm getting something from it. Whereas with streams, I feel like I need to contribute, which just takes some energy. And I realize that I probably like don't have to. I could go lurk in streams and stuff, but I don't know. I like streams for the social aspect of it. So I'm gonna show up to streams to chat with people. But also it takes energy to chat with people. Let's see. You like streaming, but you don't want to be public streaming, but then art calls with friends take energy sometimes, so really. You just make art in your gremlin cave and post it. No, that's kind of what I'm saying. I'm like, it takes energy to like hang out with people, I guess. And quite honestly, I think that it's good for me that I have like a schedule for streaming, and I am streaming twice a week because I do think of it as a social thing. I always like feel better after streaming, even if I'm having kind of a day. Usually after I'm done streaming, I'm like, I'm good. I'm gonna go take a hot bath. I'm gonna go to bed. I'm feeling a lot better because, you know, I actually changed out of my pajamas. Forced me to change out of my pajamas. You know, did some chatting. Did a whole bunch of talking for a couple hours. My brother and I were talking about streaming, and he was basically saying he would make a terrible streamer because he's pretty quiet. I'm the one that just can't shut up, and he's just very, very chill and very, very quiet. Usually, if there's something he's excited about, he'll talk a whole bunch. But I guess that's mostly around, you know, people that he's comfortable. I don't know. He talks to me all the time, but for the most part, he's fairly quiet. And he was just like, I would make a terrible streamer. It'd be so boring for everyone because there'd be like, he'd say nothing. That's the other reason that for Minecraft I was saying I should make some sort of do it multiplayer, because he's the one that builds all the cool stuff, and then I'm the one that talks, so I can walk around and just show off all of his cool things. I'm wearing this down already. It's a little bit. I've like got it all rough. I'll have to go grab something else to do this with. Guess I want to. It's blurry, but you can still kind of see where it's like starting to break there. Oh well. I'm hoping that this is covered enough. Like I said, it looks like it's like shimmery all over, which is the important part. But it doesn't look like it's covered super evenly. But I don't think that that's as important as it being shimmery all over. I just have to get it at the right angle so I can see. So I have it angled away from you guys for a moment so I can hopefully look in here. Definitely don't have enough in here. I need to get some underneath here. Oh. That does make me, I was thinking of trying to do some more with the drawing tablet on Saturday. I'm not sure yet. I don't know what I would draw. But I was thinking of messing around with that maybe on Saturday again. I haven't really messed around with it much. But I'd like to. It is fun. I need to think on that. Usually I have kind of an idea of what I'm going to do on Saturday. Or at least I figured it out by this point. And I did some embroidery. I try to mix it up. Try something, you know, mix it up on Saturdays. I'm thinking drawing tablet, but I'm not, like I said, I'm not sure what exactly want to draw yet. I've been talking about trying to do like stickers or pins or something for my shop. So maybe we'll figure something out for that. Maybe some sort of series of stickers. I was thinking of trying to do a series of like bottles with different things in them as stickers. It's like the space one that I did last time, if you guys saw it. So maybe we'll try to do something to match that. Try to make a series of like stickers. But I feel like I need to get more practice in with it maybe before trying to go full out and make something perfect, since I am still new to using a drawing tablet. Although I feel like I've kind of picked it up pretty okay. I kind of understand how it works now. It's definitely, it has a little bit of a learning curve, but it really wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. But I am definitely more of a painter than a drawer. So maybe I shouldn't make stickers? Is that what I'm hearing? To be fair, part of it was I was debating making stickers, like a sticker set. I was also debating making like stickers to send along with orders. Because at the moment I just have like some random stickers that I've been sending with orders. Like people order dice, and I have a bunch of stickers, cut up into reasonable size selections of stickers. But I was thinking of making some with like maybe my logo on it or something. Yeah, I think part of it is just that I have a little bit of a background in painting and stuff. But like I said, I'm more of a painter than a drawer, and that's very obvious, I feel like, with the tablet. And I had actually, I had tried it out like the night before for half an hour, something like that. I hadn't gone through all the brushes or anything, but just try and get it, because it definitely took me a little bit to realize that, because when you have a mouse and you go like this and then you go back and you go like this, it starts where the mouse was and then it continues. Does that make sense? So if the cursor's in the middle of my screen and I go like this, it goes up, and I move this back here and I do this, it doesn't go back to the middle of the screen, it continues from where it was. And so it took me a little bit to figure out that the tablet's not like that at all. Because with the tablet, wherever you have it on the tablet is where it is on the screen. And I kept trying to like scroll my cursor basically. So that took me a little bit to get a feel for it. I'm just making sure. I'm again trying to check that everything is all shiny. Alright. I don't know, there's so many things that I just want to do. There's so many different like art mediums that I want to try. Because like the drawing tablet, that counts as a different medium. And there's just so many things that I want to do, and I don't know. Like I said, I kind of narrowed it down. Man, I just wish I could draw a person. Like, I am so bad at drawing people. That is my weakness, drawing people, because I'm bad at proportions, and you gotta get proportions right with people. There we I don't know, all of your character drawings look so good. They all look so good. I bet if I practiced, I'd get better, but that would require me to take the time to practice. And that's me. Take the time to actually do things apart from work? No, that's not gonna happen. Like I said, that's why I turned Saturday on Twitch into my miscellaneous crafts. Miscellaneous crafts. We're playing crafts. No, miscellaneous crafts day, so that it, as an excuse to like work on some of the arts and crafts projects that I've been wanting to work on, but like just haven't made the time for. Like my crow painting that I'm gonna finish at some point, which, well, maybe. No, really though, this Saturday. How did this get all the way over here? There's some of this stuff all over the place. It just spreads. It's so thin. But no, there's so many different projects I want to work on. I think it was a good idea to make Saturday my miscellaneous crafts day so that I could use it as an excuse to actually work on things. Because otherwise I just would not have worked on my personal projects. I always feel like I don't have time to like sit down and do some painting or something. So now I have tricked my brain into thinking that it's work. And so my brain's like, yeah, you can work on that. That's cool. Again, not saying that that's a healthy mindset, that everything I can only do work, but just saying, tricked my brain. My brain's cool with it now. I said it before, I really enjoy streaming. I do think of it as work though, to a certain extent, just because I think of this as partially marketing for my crafting business. Ooh. There we go. But I don't know, I feel like that works out. I don't think I'm gonna make a TikTok. I mean, I did, but I have nothing on it. I was debating because there is definitely like a resin kind of community on there, resin and arts and stuff. But I don't know. I don't think I want to try and take the time to make TikToks. And that sounds weird because they're all like short videos, but I don't know. I'm still debating. I don't know. What do you guys think? Should I actually start using TikTok for like dice unmolding and stuff? That's what I'd probably use it for, is like short videos of like pouring and unmolding. That always bothers me, I feel like. And it's probably just me. I think other people probably really enjoy them, but the videos where it's just someone like pouring. Yeah, I know. Maybe I'll start doing that. I need to figure out some phone like something to hold my phone for video recording. I have to figure that out. Yeah, it would be good marketing. What was I going to say? What was I talking about? What was I saying? I don't remember. I don't remember what I was saying. Oh yeah, there's so many different platforms that I could be doing like marketing on that I'm not. Like, I'm never going to be on all of them. But I mean, I don't know. Like I said, I'm not a big fan of editing, so there wouldn't be as much editing. Like, I feel like it would be a good platform for me. It's just that it would be another thing for me to do. I don't know. I feel like it takes me forever to do things. I don't know if it takes me longer than other people to, like, you know, do things, but I feel like it does. I don't know. I'm a very bad judge of time. I definitely get distracted easily. which is part of the reason that it's nice working for myself. Because I don't feel like I'm wasting anybody else's time when I get distracted by something. Actually, this is almost done. Excellent. Whoa. Oh, I was working on this one. No wonder that one. What was I saying? See, I've done it again. Lost my train of thought again. This is what I was talking about last week, about how I can only think about one thing at once. I think I'm gonna need to get a different one of these because this one's getting worn out already. What was I talking about? TikTok, editing. I don't remember. So many things to do, so little time. I mean, I've got plenty of time, but it's just going to take me, it's going to be over a period of time, which just does not appeal to me. No, I want to work on all of these different things now. What do you mean I need to do these in some sort of sequential order? That doesn't make any sense. So, like I said, I need to figure out what projects I want to focus on now. And what ones I'll leave for a later date. I feel like I'm missing this corner right here. It doesn't seem very well covered. The corners are just hard to cover. Let's see. Numbers fake. Bitch, I got a math degree. But yes, they are fake. Which might sound like an odd statement, but I took a whole class on proofs, and there's certain things that you just can't prove, like that numbers are in sequential order. Can't prove that. Can't prove that 2 comes after 1. We're taking the square root of -1, folks. We're going in. Now, the thing that's really weird is when you have an imaginary electrical current. That gets weird, because that's a thing. Because the imaginary numbers are a thing, so that's when you, like, take the square root of -1, which is impossible. Because whenever you square a number, it's going to be positive. So if you take a negative number times a negative number, wait, did I do that correctly? Oh man, I've forgotten how to math now, guys. I've been out of school too long, since May. But anyways, square root of -1, imaginary number. In electrical engineering, and I didn't do electrical engineering, but I took an electrical engineering class. I didn't start out in math. And I'm technically, my degree is confusing. But there's certain things to basically make, you make like imaginary electricity and then you convert it back into real electricity. It gets very weird. And I guess I always think of it as a visual with like vectors, where you have your current that's traveling through the wire, and then you have current that's traveling perpendicular to the wire. That's how I always imagined it, with like vectors. And that stuff that's traveling perpendicular to the wire, even though it's, you know, still traveling, is the imaginary stuff. It's like with polarized lenses, I guess. Because polarized lenses, they basically block light from It makes it so that the light is only traveling in waves in one direction, sort of thing. And so if you put, so basically it's like a screen like this, so that the light can only travel this way. And so if you have another screen like this, like another screen, and you go like this, you make it so that the light can't travel at all, because it's it can't travel this way with these ones, and it can't travel this way with these ones. So now it can't travel at all. But if you take a third one of your polarized lenses and you put it at an angle in the middle, suddenly some light can get through, even though there's now, you still have these two. If you have a polarized one that's at an angle in the middle, what happens is that it changes some of the light from the first one that's only traveling up and down, it changes it to be at that same angle as the one that's like this. So suddenly you have light that's traveling at this angle instead of at just the up and down. And then you take the next one, which is at this side, and it's going to take the light that is traveling at the angle, and it's going to turn some of it into light that's traveling this direction. So you actually do get some light when you have three polarized lenses and the one in the middle is at an angle. Because it's changing but anyway, that's how I always think of imaginary electricity. Whoa, hello! So science is fake too. It actually makes sense with vectors, but, I mean... Welcome, thanks for raiding. I'm talking about polarized lenses and imaginary electricity right now. And, yeah. I don't know that anyone is interested in listening to that, but it's what I'm talking about. I'm trying to get all of this flake stuff that's getting all over the place into this mold, because it's very shiny. How are you doing? Good to have you. Which one was I working on? Which one of these still needs more? There's cat hairs here. I'm trying to remember which one of these I was working on. All of these corners could use a little bit more though. So I'm just going to try and, before I call it good, I'm just going to try and work a little bit into the corners here. I'm doing good. A little cold. It's a little cold in this room, but I'm good. I'm, like I said, trying to explain how I always pictured imaginary electricity, which is a thing. I learned from the one electrical engineering class I took. I got a couple people that are working on their own arts and crafts projects, like drawing and stuff in the chat, which is nice. I always like it when other people are working on their arts and crafts projects too, while hanging out. I don't know, there's a certain amount of camaraderie, so that's exciting. What are you guys up to this evening? Anything fun? Oh, I just realized I don't think I checked out your channel. I think we're good on, I should do that. I never thought of it. I never know when people on Twitch, like, stream, cause you can be on Twitch and stream and also be on Twitch and just watch streams. So I never know. Alright, so there's that done. And it looks a little uneven in there. But like I was saying, see, it looks a little uneven. But what you really want is it to be shiny evenly. So see, it seems to all be shiny, and that's the important part. Twin mirror, that sounds interesting. Is it like a horror game, or like I don't know, it sounds like it could be like a puzzle game or something, which is the kind of games that I like. Just a second, let me... I don't want it to play. Okay, I need to remind me to look up your channel after this. Okay. Oh man, there's so much resin here. Okay, so we've got this one all set to go. So that one's all nice and dusted in the molds. Set that off to the side for now. Okay, we need to figure out how I'm going to do the honey color for this D6. And then the D4 is going to be a collection of different colors. So let me pull out a couple of these. I think that'll be good. I want to do a slightly lighter honey color for this D6. So for anybody who's new here, I am working on a set of, ooh, cool. I'll have to check it out. That sounds like a fun game. I like those kind of story, puzzly games. Things where I don't have to have a good reaction time. I'm working, what I was going to show though, I'm making a set of bee-themed dice for a commission, and I'm going to remake the D6 and the D4 because they just didn't turn out quite how I wanted. The D6 is a little bit dark, so it's a little bit hard to see the little bees that are in there. Those little bees, a little hard to see them. So I want to make a slightly lighter color. It also is just a little bit, it matches the D8 just a little bit. It's a little bit too close in color. So I want to make it a little bit lighter. Got to figure out how I'm going to do that. And then the D4 I'm going to redo, and I'm going to do a similar kind of, dirty pour, a little bit of all sorts of different colors, but it was just a little bit too red. So I'm going to use some of the honey color in that as well. But I need to figure out how I'm going to do a lighter honey color, because I know how I've done my honey color in the past. So like that, it looks very dark there too, because it is. And the way I've done that is with some orange and a little bit of purple to kind of make it not as bright. But I don't know if that's going to scale if I just add less. It might still be kind of bright, but I guess we'll find out. What we could do, because I've got a couple things that I want to do here. So I'm going to set those off to the side, and we're going to use some of this sunset gold. It's like a really dark kind of gold color. We're going to use some of this sparkle gold as well. And then we'll do kind of like a beeswax color, which that one will probably be with, I might just use some of this yellow and some white. It'll probably be easiest. So we've got that, and then we're going to try and get that honey color for that, and we'll use that honey color then in the D4 with our dirty pour. There's all sorts of flakes on here. I'm going to do a set of dice with feathers and foil, and I think some sort of, maybe a really light color to go with it, or a little bit of a shimmer to go with it, or something. So I'm going to look at all of my colors. Put these in there, that's not what I need right now. Ooh, sorry, that was kind of loud. I'm going to look at all my colors here and see if there's something that I think would match well. Like a little bit of like a blue shimmer might be nice. A little bit of contrast. Or, I could go for kind of a coppery sort of look with like some green. Do some sort of like, do kind of coppery look with like a green, and then these kind of mixes of it looks even more blue on the camera. But I have these foil flakes that are like various colors. It's kind of a mix. And then I have these feathers that have they have a little bit of, ooh, maybe a green would be nice actually. Because these have like a little bit of like green and stuff in them, some of them. Let me find some feathers here that I'll to use. Some of these are a little bit more ratty than others, so ooh, here's a pretty one. That's a good one too. So we'll see if I can show you the shimmer on this, because not really, but there's at the tip of the wing there, or tip of the feather there we go, you can kind of see there's some shine there. It's a little bit of a different color. That's actually a good one. We might put that in like the D20. Here's this kind of small one. Oh, here, this one has more green, I think. Let's see if I can show that to you. You can kind of see the line there, but it's hard to see the green. Hard to see that. A little bit of shine. Put those in these. So let's see here. But yeah, I'm gonna do feathers and a little bit of this foil, and then I'm trying to decide what else I want to add there. If I want to add just a little bit of maybe some gold shimmer to it, or even if I want to add anything else, like some very light color, maybe not in the whole thing, but in part of it. So it's kind of a very, very light green, and then a clear where the feather is. Like that might be kind of nice. If anybody has any ideas for what I should do with that while I find some feathers here. Just thinking it over. What do I want to do? Trying to find some feathers that are a little bit nicer. Not all of these are great. Some of them have some like glue on them and stuff. I pulled these off of an old hat that was falling apart. I was talking about that earlier. And let's see, let's find a... So, to be fair, this works out for them. Because you hopefully won't see that as much. Let's see here, what's a good... Let's find a good one for the D12. Ooh, that one's pretty. Let's do that one in the D12, I think. And I need one for the D6. Let's see here. The D6 is always kind of important because I feel like that's always the easiest to see. It's a little bit messed up. That's this way. I'm not interfering with the chat. Ah, here, this one looks nice. We'll do that one. That one looks nice. Oh man. Yeah, no worries. I will probably be here for a little bit since I haven't started pouring resin yet. Oh, excuse me. So there's feathers for all of them. We've got our foil here. And then I'm thinking, someone should talk me out of this if this is a bad idea, but I'm thinking this, it looks a little bit more blue on screen, I think, but it's kind of a bluish green color. I'm thinking maybe a little bit of like this green, but even lighter, and then also like clear around this, and then it kind of will fade a little bit into like a really, really light green that will have all of the flakes in it. I think I might go for that. Let me grab this pigment. I should just have it over here. Where is that? Oh, right here. Here's my green. So that'll be nice for the feathers there. The other thing that I pulled these out for is I have a plan. I mentioned this at the beginning of the stream. I'm gonna do a set of like six sided dice, and so I have 4 made already, and the plan is they're gonna be in kind of sets of 2, but then they'll match. So like, you know, I have my kind of blues, and then this kind of reds and oranges, but they have kind of the same sort of design to them. So I need to figure out what colors I want to do the last 2, and I don't know if I'll end up making these or not. It depends on whether I have enough resin left over or not towards the end here. But maybe some sort of like yellow, like a yellow and a green maybe, because I feel like we haven't really gotten a yellow. Maybe a yellow and a green. I feel like that might work out. These actually both have purple in them technically, but it didn't really turn out. So maybe like a yellow and a green. I think maybe, yeah. Maybe those ones right there. I think I might do that. This might be a little bit light, I don't know. Put kind of some light yellows and greens. Yeah, I think I'll do that. So I have that green. Let me grab my other two here. And that is lemon yellow and fluorescent green. And this green. So I think we've got that all planned out. Set that off to the side. So that's gonna go with these, if I have enough. And I'll just set these over here too so that I can see what my plan is, so I don't forget what my plan is. Alright, this is going to be divided up into two. So I'm going to do clear and then a little bit of the, I had one that has not been used somewhere, thought, maybe not, no, that one looks the most clean. Actually, I'm gonna grab a new one for the other half since I want it to be clear. I'm gonna do a little bit of kind of some very light green and then clear. And I want some of these metal flakes in both. So let's see how big of a mess this is gonna make when I open it. Oh, I think we might be okay. Oof, as long as I don't tear the bag. Yeah, this is just like the silver foil that I have. I might end up putting this in the same jar as the silver foil that I have. I'll show you how I have my silver foil set up. And it's because this stuff can be a mess. Not in a bad way. It's just so fine that it gets all over the place, kind of like the other stuff. I have my silver foil still in the bag like this, just in a jar. So maybe I might end up putting this in this jar too. Still in the bag. All right, but I like the mix of colors here. It's nice. I think it'll be nice with the green because it'll look kind of like tarnished. Yes, tarnished copper a little bit. But we're gonna grab a couple of flakes here. And really, it will not take a lot, so I'm just gonna try and get a little bit of a mix of colors. Some copper. Some of this kind of other gold-ish color with the kind of green in there. Add a little bit to this side as well. I might actually, yeah, it really shouldn't take a ton. I probably could grab a little bit out of here and put it in the other one. I'm gonna grab a little bit of this greenish color and put it in this side. Yeah, we're gonna go about 50-50, so that's gonna be probably plenty on that side. Let's add a little bit more to this other side. There's some more gold. And some more kind of coppery color. We could use a little bit more gold, I guess. I think this is mostly gold. I like the copper though. The copper will be nice with the green because again, that kind of tarnished copper color will be nice. All right, there's that. Set that out of the way. Got that figured out. So one of those is going to be clear and one of those is going to be with a little tiny bit of the green. And that's going to go with the feathers. The clear will be right next to the feathers and then the green will be opposite them. Which actually we could just put these feathers in the molds right now. Let's do that. Actually, do I want to saturate these with resin first? Because I'm just thinking of whether I want to put these in the resin first before putting them in the molds. I might want to do that actually. I might hold off. I'm gonna end up pouring my resin first and then doing that. So I've got those figured out. Move this over because I need to then get these ones all set to go. And this is the commission set that I'm working on. Oh, hey, let me pull that out of my pocket and see how it's looking. You can kind of see, it's very cold in this room, but you can see where it's lighter here. This is, actually it is lighter, but teal, and then when it gets warm it turns clear. So we're going to be doing some of this. Let me grab a container for that. And then the other part's going to be clear and then have a little bit of gold foil in it. Think about this. I'm going to go about a third of the way with this teal, 2/3 with that. I'm going to again grab a separate little container for this because I want to make sure that that's clear. But I'm going to add a little bit of the gold foil to there. What is this in here? I seem to have dropped a piece of tissue in there. Tissue paper. I don't know what that's from. Alright. And it shouldn't take... hey Jen, if you're still hanging out, do you want like little flakes of gold or like big flakes of gold? I think maybe little might be better just because it'll be easier to see the flowers. Little flakes, okay. Cool, perfect. That's for the teal, so actually I don't need as much in there. I probably only need one. I might end up adding a little bit more, but it really does not take a lot. So we're gonna call that good. Just kind of a couple of big flakes, and these will end up as little flakes because when I'm stirring it, it'll break up. And so that's going to be the clear. This one's going to be the teal. Let me grab a little bit of this teal to put in. We're going to go for kind of a little bit of a watercolory look. I'm going to do about my plan for this is I'm going to fill it up about a third of the way with this teal and the gold. And then I'm going to add these forget-me-not flowers. Cover those in clear resin and place those in, and then we're going to I'm still debating. I still need to figure out on those. I'm worried that, and I mentioned this earlier, they're very delicate, and my only concern with this is that they're gonna break under the weight of the resin. I really shouldn't take a lot of this, I don't think. I imagine that will probably be plenty. So I'm only going to be doing about 10 milliliters of this. I'll add a little tiny bit more. Better safe than sorry. I don't want to like add so much that it weighs down the dye though. Although the plan is to have it be... yeah, that should be plenty. Kind of watercolory in there. Slightly, they're kind of different blues. This one's a little bit more purpley than this. It's a little bit more teal, but I feel like they'll look pretty together. Especially with the gold. I think the gold will be nice. All right, let me set that off to the side. So we've got our teal with our gold. We've got our mirror clear with our gold. We've got our flowers here. And what I need to do is pull out some of these flowers for each dye. I'm gonna grab clear thing here. I'm just gonna pull these out. I'm gonna figure out which ones are gonna go to which. There's one branch here that has like slightly larger flowers, so I'm figuring those will go in the D20. Like that's a really nice one. Yeah. See if it'll focus on them. Come Come on. Doesn't want to find it. Come on, you can do it. It really doesn't want to focus, does it? Come on, you can do it. Focus. Wait, there we go. Yes. Anyways, pretty flowers. But yeah, they're very delicate. So I got to figure out how I'm gonna put these in without breaking them. Because I'll show you the. Yeah, there's a few here where you can see that. Here, I'll show you this one. This one's not bad, but there's just, like, you can see there's some that are kind of broken off there. It doesn't want to focus again. Come on, find it. Find it. Find it. No. You can kind of see, even though it's blurry, it has some petals that are missing. And that's easy to do. Easy to lose some petals. Like this one, it's almost all of the petals gone. This one might be my test one, just to make sure that I'm not going to mess these up with the resin. Yeah, this one's also lost most of its petals. That one's pretty good. It's kind of small, but we're gonna figure out what's gonna go where. This one's the big ones. That one's gonna go in the D20. I already know that. I might need to break down some of these stems too to make sure that they will fit. So let me pull these all out so we can look at them. And then there is some flowers and petals in here, and I might use those in the D4. We'll see. Let me arrange these. This one's beautiful. This one's beautiful and perfect. So that might be in like the D12 because it's a pretty good size. This one's not perfect, but it has most of its flowers still. This one looks good. This one's pretty good too. This one's kind of small, but looks really good. So that might end up being like the D4. Yeah, I could do that. That is definitely something I could do. I could add a few of the little petals floating. That's a good idea. We'll definitely do that. So yeah, see, this has like 2 broken off, but I could add a couple of petals. That might be good in like one of the D10s because it's a fairly good size. This one's really nice. I'm thinking maybe I'm gonna say D6 for that one because I feel like the D6 is a fairly important die because it is the easiest to see what's inside of it. Because it has such a large flat face. The D20 is actually it's difficult to see what's inside of a D20 because the light's refracting. The light is refracted all sorts of different ways. Like this has a bumblebee in it, which I found dead on the sidewalk. I didn't kill it or anything, but if it'll focus, yeah. See, it's kind of hard to see the bumblebee unless I move it around because depending on the angle of the face, it changes how it looks. You can see there. It's kind of hard to see. But you don't have that issue with the D6. Like it's easy to see what's on the inside of a D6. So I want a good set for the D6 for sure. And then let's see here. How's this one? Yeah, some of these are. This one's really nice. This one's like kind of small but really pretty. I thought one of these probably. The D4, I was thinking, what if I took like some of the flowers and just put the flowers in instead of the whole stalk for the D4, but I don't know on that yet. I might have enough stalks that I could do this. Like this one actually might be good for the D4. I think that one will be good for the D4. Cause yeah, we'll do a whole stalk for the D4. And then this one, I think for the D10 maybe. Those ones are a little bit bigger, but I think, oh wait, no, these ones are really pretty. These ones are really good. So maybe I'll trade out, actually all the ones that I have are pretty good. I might trade out this one. That one's pretty good, but it has a few missing. Alright, I think that's good. I'm gonna set these off to the side. I'm gonna pull out some petals here and set them off to the side as well, because we might use some of these. So let me just grab some individual petals to add to these, just kind of floating around. That'll be pretty. Couple, just a little tiny one. They're not necessarily going to go in the die that I'm setting them on, but I'm just pulling them out. Oh, that one could use a big one if there's one. I think this one. Okay, that one is going to go in the D20, and I think it's because that is the piece that broke off. So it's the only one that I think is big enough. So I've got that figured out for the D20. These ones going into the D12 are perfect. This one has like a couple missing. This one's pretty perfect. It has like half of one missing. We'll add one or two. Probably, yeah. This one has a couple of missing. Let me find a smaller one here to add as well. And again, they might not go on the ones that I'm putting them next to. And this one's pretty good. I think it has one missing. This one has a couple missing, so we're gonna add a couple more. Yeah. Let me find some smaller ones for that. Alright. And then let's put these other ones away so we don't get them all messed up. Oh, this one's actually pretty good. Alright, and this one's actually not bad. A couple of these are still pretty good. I did grab out, I think, the nicest ones. Oh, there's a cat hair in here. But there's still a couple in here that are not bad at all. But like I said, they're so delicate. My biggest concern is breaking them with the resin itself. Let me set these up here. I'm gonna pull out a couple of single flowers because I like to include like a little extra D4 with these, but I always kind of like it to not match exactly. I don't know why. It's just kind of an extra resin sort of one usually. So if we have a little extra resin, it'll go into this little bonus D4. But it'll be nice to have some flowers in there as well. Set that off to the side. Set that over with that. All right, let's make sure we've got everything that we need. So we've got our teal and our gold, and our flowers. We've got our green and our coppers and golds, and that's what I'm missing. So for this to show up really well, for the shimmery, I want it to have a nice black base. And then also if it's missing a section, it won't be as noticeable too. So that's going to have a black base to it. Let me grab, I thought I had one here that I used for that. Where did that go? Oh, it's right here. Alright, you use that. And then, okay, so got that figured out. This one's going to be clear and then a little bit of green. This one, we're going to have to try and figure out a good honey color. I have the ones that I've used before, which is this orange and a little bit of purple, but I also grabbed some yellow and some white so I can make some sort of like a kind of beeswax color, and then the D4 is going to be kind of a mix of, that's what I'm missing to do. I need to add a little bit of these to these containers, and just the barest amount, like, it will not, no, that's fine. It will not take a lot at all. I'm going to be doing such a small amount of these because I'm just putting these in a D4. So we will, I'm just going to add a little tiny bit that's going to get mixed in. That will be plenty. That'll be plenty. I'm not going to be doing a lot of resin at all. That off to the side. And this gold, it's kind of a funky gold. I feel like it's very dark. But I feel like in this case, it works really well. Like, I don't know, it's just, it matches the sort of, it makes me think of pollen, I guess. With its really dark kind of golden color. And again, don't need a lot because I'm going to be using so little of it. I'll set those off over here. And then here, if I have enough left over of the clear, it will go in these, and I will do some kind of swirling. Oh, if I do that, I need this. I need a little bit of this. That's what I'm missing. And that's just 2 dice, so it shouldn't take a lot of that. Alright, I think we've got everything all set to go. Got all of our pieces. If we need a little bit more of something off to the side. I think these might be okay. Before I actually get to pouring resin, I'm going to take, I think, a very quick bathroom break. Should be back in a minute or two. It'll be very quick, but I just finished like a cup and a half of tea, so I'll be right back, and then we will pour the actual resin. Okay, I'm back. I ran into a kitten in the hallway that was, I think, sad that I was going to pour resin. I think this one's probably dead. Oh, look, a little star. But this one seems to be okay. So I think I've got everything all set to go. Make sure I didn't just pull a hole into that. Let me get my safety equipment on, and we will pour some resin. As always, I'm going to sound like Darth Vader or something for a little bit, because I'm going to be very muffled while I wear a respirator, because I want to be safe, and resin can give off some fumes. Put a little bit of shimmer in this. I'm having a thought about the one with the multiple colors and the green. Do I want to add a little bit of gold shimmer? I'm gonna add a little tiny bit of gold shimmer, like the barest amount. I think that'll be nice. Do you like my new hat? Doesn't it suit me? Okay, there we go. A little tiny bit of gold shimmer before I actually pour resin. All right. Now I'm gonna sound like Darth Vader. Get my gloves on. My hair's a mess, but that's okay. So we're gonna be doing. I've used these gloves before, and I'll stuck to myself. I'm going to be doing 100 milliliters of resin, because each set of dice takes about 30. This is just a lot of new one. So each set of dice takes about 30 milliliters of resin. So here's 30, here's 60. I think this takes about 20-ish. It's a little bit less than that. It's more like 16, but I round up. So 60, 80. And then I want to get some of these other things done. So let's say this is 10. I don't know that it would be that much, but 90, and then we'll just call that 100. Because I'd rather have a little bit extra than not enough. If I make some extra dice, so be it. I am going to be going quiet here for a second, because I'm going to pour 2 parts of resin, and I cannot talk and measure at the same time, so you have to give me just a moment here while I count this out. So equal parts of part A and part B for this kind of resin. In this case, 50 milliliters of the resin, 50 milliliters of the hardener. I might have to order resin again sometime soon. I guess I go through this fairly quickly now. I'm making so many dice. Here, let it settle a little bit. It's so thick, it takes a minute for it to even out. So it's very close. And can't quite see it yet. That should be plenty. So that should be it. Should be at 50, I think. I'm very close to 50. Yeah, we're at 50. It takes a second for it to even out and actually get to the line. So there's 50 of that. And then this one's a little bit more liquidy, so it's a little bit easier to get correct. It probably doesn't help that it's really cold in this room, so this stuff is even more liquidy, or even thicker than usual. There we go. Those are some words. So we're going to go up to 100 milliliters. That appears to be at the 100 milliliter mark. Wow, I've really gone through a lot of this. I guess, to be fair, my goal is to have like probably around 20 new sets in the shop first Friday in February. And I should probably have around that. So 20 times 30 is what, 600 milliliters? Well, that's actually not as much as I would have thought. There's some other stuff I guess that I've made too. That's not including all the commission sets, a little bit of extra that I usually have, the fake dice and stuff that I've been doing. So this is very, I'm mixing at the moment. You can see how cloudy it is at the moment. So I need to get all these two parts mixed together completely before I can pour it. Otherwise it won't cure properly. So this just takes a minute. It's so full that I'm just trying to mix it rather carefully. I don't want to spill. I'm not too worried about adding extra air to this because I'll be putting this in a pressure pot, but I still want to do it fairly gently. I don't want to add like a ton of extra air bubbles because you can still end up with gaps and stuff. One of the dice that I pulled out earlier had a little bit of a gap, kind of an air bubble in one of the corners. So I don't want that. I don't want to have big air bubbles in my dice. Just doesn't work out well. I can fix them a little bit, but it's easier if I don't have big air bubbles in my dice. That's something else I noticed recently. I feel my D4s have ended up with like bubbles at the top. I don't know why. I wonder if it's just been getting caught in like the corners or something of the dice and then ends up in the middle. And I guess that's another good reason that I've switched to my crystal shape for the D4s. Except in the commission sets, because I haven't updated my commission sheet to show the crystal shape. So maybe I'll do that at some point. Although I don't know, some people might want the traditional shape. Plus, it's kind of fun adding a little bonus D4 with those. So. Oh, I hear a kitty cat outside the door. Pretty sure that's not. She's the one that met me in the hallway and was kind of sad that I was going back into the craft room. She is a sweetheart. She is allowed in the craft room when I'm not working with like resin or soap or something that's dangerous to her. She's actually really chill in here. The other cats aren't really allowed in here as much. Because they like to knock things over and get in the way. But she'll just come sit on my lap and snuggle while I work on things, or go sit on the chair at the table behind me and sleep in here while I work on things. Like, it's kind of surprising considering she's the kitten. Like, she's still a kitten and she has so much energy and everything, but when she's in the craft room, she's just so chill. It's like just kind of funny. Oh. She's scratching at the door. She wants to come hang out. She was hanging out here with me earlier today. I was sanding some other dice. Yeah. I am. Oh, the baby. I think. Yeah, she's. So maybe if I do end up doing what was the word I was looking for? Some more like digital drawing on Saturday. Maybe we'll get some more kitty cat content because they'll probably come and hang out while I'm doing that. I think that is what I want to do on Saturday. I think I do want to do more drawing tablet because I haven't really used it much and it's fun. I just don't know what I want to draw yet. I mean, we could do something where I take suggestions, but I think maybe I'll try and design some stickers that I could like send with my dice. I think that's my ultimate goal, but maybe we'll do something where I take suggestions too for things to draw. There is so many scratch marks on this door. And it's so strange to me because there's scratch marks on the inside of this door too, and I don't know why. There's scratch marks on the inside of this door. On the outside I understand because that happens. Both Knot and Koshi will scratch at the door to be let in. I think maybe Knot picked it up from Koshi. But she does it a lot more than Koshi does. Alright, we're getting close here. There's still some streaks in here, so I want to make sure I have this mixed completely. I'm scraping along the sides here, because I want to make sure I don't have any of like one kind just stuck to the side. That would be bad. And same with the bottom. I'll scrape it along the bottom, make sure there's no one kind that is all stuck to the bottom. There's still, like I said, a few spots in here that still need mixed, so we're going to keep going. But we're getting very close to this being completely mixed. There's a cat here. That is the other reason, the other problem with letting the cats in here is that there's so much cat hair. Even without the cats being in here, there's so much cat hair in everything. Oh. Do you have cats, Hen? Or, I guess any animal, but in this case, specifically cats. I feel like that's dangerous if you're a chicken. You have 4 cats? I have 4 cats! Hey! What are their names? What are they like? I have my 4 cats. I have Fitz, which is short for Fitzwilliam, and I have Koshek, who I call Koshi, and I have Luna, and I have Knot. And Knot is the baby. I think Luna's a little sad that she's no longer the baby. But they're all named after book or podcast characters. We have Fitzwilliam Darcy, Koshek from Welcome to Night Vale, Luna from Harry Potter, and Knot from Critical Role. You know, I feel like they're unique enough names that they're not really people names. 3 of them we rescued a few years back. They found us and just stayed. You didn't adopt the cats. The cats adopted you, it sounds like. Alright. So, I think that is all mixed. Alright, I'm going to do these ones first, because these are the ones that I want this to be the most liquidy for. I'm the most concerned about it, if it's any thicker, breaking the flour. So, I'm going to do about a third. Probably about a third of the teal, maybe not even that, maybe a little bit less than a third, because it's going to end up being kind of, I'll go about 7.5 instead of 10. Alright, it's going to end up kind of watercolor-ish, but I don't want it to be so much that you can't see the flower. So I went to 7.5, so I'm going to go out to about 25 on this one. It'll be a little bit more than 30, but that's fine. I don't have somewhere between there, so. Wait, am I thinking that correctly? No, yeah, a little bit, about 25, because a little bit more than 20, but I don't have a mark in between there, so. I might add more gold. I might have miscalculated that, but that's fine. I have more off to the side. Okay, that should be fine. I'm going to do these ones first. So here's my. Let's see if I have enough here. Okay, here's the teal. I want to mix that good. I want to make sure that, yeah, I think I'm going to add a little bit more gold. There's just not quite enough in here. And if this starts getting lighter, don't despair. Resin tends to heat up as it's curing, so that's not a bad thing if this starts to get a little bit lighter. I think I'm going to need a little bit more gold. Although it's a little opaque, so it's not surprising I'm not seeing a lot of the gold. But we can add a little tiny bit more. Okay, more than that. Come on. Alright. It doesn't want to come off. Just a second here. It's stuck to my finger. I think I have the barest amount of resin on here, so it's sticking. There's a moment here. I'm just going to use this to get all the stuff off here. Okay, this moment. I may or may not need that gold, so we're going to set that off to the side. I can't get it to stop sticking! No! Get off! There we go. I don't really want it. It's just kind of stuck to my finger now. Alright, well. We may or may not end up adding that to the clear one. So I'm going to mix that up as well. Kind of break up these pieces a little bit. And see if we can add a little bit more gold. And I'm mixing this one fairly rapidly because I want to break up all of these gold pieces. And so, yeah, I'm definitely going to need to add more gold. Okay. I'll probably need to add even more than this. I don't want to add so much that you can't see the flowers again, but I definitely want it to be obvious that there's gold in here. Yeah, that's better. I could probably even add a little tiny bit more. I don't know. Actually, no, I think that might be okay. Here, I'll show. Hey, Jen, what do you think about that amount of gold? Some of it's bubbles, but I'll get your opinion since you're here. Excellent. Should I add a little bit more, or do you think that's enough? Like, I feel like it's enough that you'll see that there's gold and there's supposed to be gold, but I don't want to make it so you can't see the flowers. That's enough? Okay, cool. Let me mix that into the teal a little bit. Okay, there we go. And there, the teal matches a little bit better now. It's harder to see in the teal because this teal is fairly opaque. But alright, I'm going to put these off to the side over here because there's less stuff for them to end up all gunky on. And I'm going to use a pipette here to add a little bit of this teal to each one of these. I'm going to use a pipette because I do not want this kind of on the sides yet. It's going to end up there when I pour in the clear. Actually, I guess it's not as big of a deal, but I'm fine. It'll be a little bit more controlled this way too. I can make sure that I add the amount that I want to add. I'm going to add teal into the bottom here. I don't have a perfectly steady hand, but I'm going to try to get this fairly even. I don't want a ton in there, I just kind of want enough to cover the bottom, because we are going to kind of make it displace a little bit, so it's going to kind of end up a little bit more watercolor. That is the goal, but again, I don't want there to be so much that you can't see the flowers. But let me... The D4 is always kind of difficult because there's not a lot of space in a D4. But let me add some more to the D20. There's quite a bit of space in the D20 and the D12, so that's plenty in there. Hopefully I have enough to clear here, but I guess if I don't, it's fine, it's just clear. And then there's enough in the D12. I'm gonna add a little bit more to these, and I'm going to add the rest of it to my little bonus one here. Is this my good one? I think this is my bad one. Oh, since my good one. Okay. We'll add the last of this to this little spare D4 mold. I just kind of use, I like to have like a little bonus. So this is just kind of my, it's my dump mold for the resin that I use for my commissions. I make a little spare D4. I make a little keychain. Hey, Jen, do you have a shape that you would like for your keychain? Do you want a little crystal? Should I do a little crystal for you? Or I could do the little bottle. So put the actual crystal. Okay. I'm gonna put this last little bit in here and make it match. Yeah, it's just kind of, I usually end up with a little bit. Oh yeah. No, have a good night. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for raiding too. It was good seeing you. What was I saying? Oh, just I usually end up with like a little bit of like extra anyways when I'm making dice. So with the commissions, it's like I might as well make something a little extra for the person who ordered them. That's just fun. I don't know, it's always fun to get little bonuses, I think. And like these aren't going to look perfect or anything because they're just kind of dump molds, but that is okay. Alright, so for the flowers, first of all, I think I'm going to need to make this a little bit shorter. Alright, and we're going to try this with the D4 because this one's not looking great. Oh, yeah, actually that worked fairly well. But again, it's kind of... I'll set this on the side here for a moment. So I want to get all of these I should set those in there for now. These are some of the petals. So I'm going to be able to flip that over and set this on here. Alright, that seems to have worked okay. I didn't lose a whole bunch of petals, so that is good. I think... I'm debating whether I want to add the flowers first or the resin first to displace all of this. Because I think, I'm worried about these breaking. I think actually it's going to be less traumatic for them if I place them in and then pour the resin on top. Oops, let's make sure they are right side up though. Why are you sinking? Well, it doesn't quite work out, that's fine. Actually, I think that looks pretty nice. Alright, there's our D4. I think things will look, it'll be a little bit easier to see things on the D6. I'm actually going to pour in, okay, I have a new plan. I'm going to pour in about half of the way. I'm not going to go all the way up because we're going to be displacing a little bit with the flowers here. So we've got our D6 flowers. And I'm going to kind of scoop some of this over. I'm trying to make it so that I don't break the petals off the flowers, and so I'm trying to be as gentle as possible with these. And I'll place those in upright. Ooh, I think that's going to be pretty. I think it's going to be pretty. Let's add a little petal. I think I should be able to show you how it's looking. Have you tried making resin keycaps? I haven't, but I kind of want to. It's one of those things where I've been wanting to. So there's bubbles and stuff at the moment, but there's the flowers in there. It's kind of hard to see with the teal down there, but it's kind of blends in a little bit. But there is teal on the bottom as well. Yeah, I think that's going to turn out really pretty. I have high hopes. So fingers crossed here. There's hair on there. Can't have a hair on my tweezers. Also, welcome to the stream. Pasts. My first thought was pasta, but I don't think your name is pasta. And now I want pasta. Pasta sounds really good. Oh, wait, there's lasagna in the fridge upstairs. I might have pasta. But oh, those carbs! I know they're so good. Give me all the carbs. So I'm gonna do the same thing I did last time, where I fill it up, not quite full, and then I'm going to dip the flour in here. They always get you. Oh yeah, they do. Keep coming back for more. But no, I haven't made keycaps. It's one of those things where I just put my hand in the D4. That's not what I need. We're going to move this in front of here so that I don't do that. Okay. No, it's one of those ones where I've kind of been thinking about it, because it's kind of, a similar size to the dice, so like I'm used to working in this scale. I don't know if they ended up too watercolory, actually. How strange. I didn't displace too much, but I think that's okay. I think I did a little bit. Yeah, I know, I will see. It's hard to tell. I don't know if it went too watercolory or not. I'm trying to get it a little bit by pouring from a fairly high distance so it displaces, but again, not quite filling it up all the way to the top because the flowers will displace a little bit. Let's grab the ones for this D10. I'm gonna pick up the stem a little bit. Oh, this is a pretty one. These ones are almost a little slightly lighter in color. I'm just kind of spooning some of the resin over it to cover it. And the reason I'm putting it into the resin first is a couple things. One, to get any air bubbles that might be trapped against these out. It makes it so that there's hopefully not going to be as much air trapped underneath them if they're covered in resin first. Even though there's an air bubble here that doesn't want to go away. A couple air bubbles. And and 2, in this case, it'll hopefully protect them from when I pour resin on top of them. Hopefully protect them a little bit. There, and I'm gonna try and put this in. Oh no, it looks like it is. It looks like it is all watercolory because I do have a little bit of the resin on top, the teal on top here. Seems to have done that. Let's add some of these. So our D8. These are just some separate. What's the D6? So the D8, like I was saying, these are just some single flower petals. I have those floating in there as well. I have to get this to stay, but there we go. That's the D8. And there's still some bubbles that are coming up in these. Alright, and we're just continuing the same thing over and over again. So, for a kind of watercolor effect, there's a couple different ways that I have done that in the past. One of them is like this, where I pour in one color and then I pour in another color from... Yes, I am going to use a pressure pot, so I'm not as worried about there being little bubbles, but I still want to pop all the bubbles that come to the surface so I don't end up with like a big gap on accident. Here's this one. Yes, but no, the pressure pot works very well for taking really small bubbles and making it so you can't see them. But if you have slightly larger bubbles, oh, I'm making a mess. I mean, you should be able to tell by my workspace, but I'm making a mess. What was I saying? Oh, but for larger bubbles, it won't make them go away completely. So you want to make sure that you have like your big bubbles gone. Oh, come on. Work with me here. I probably should have made that stem a little bit smaller. I think we're okay. Do you do any resin work casts? Or thinking about getting into it? Alright, there's those. Moving on to the D12. Oh wait. Seems like a big... Yeah, that's fair. It can be fairly expensive. I mean, I feel like to start, it's not necessarily, like, I've been doing resin for a couple of years, but I've only really started doing dice in the past half a year. No, a little bit less than a year. Oops, I filled that one a little bit more than I meant to. And starting out, really all you need is resin, and you can put whatever the heck you want in it. But no, once you start getting a little fancier, it can definitely start adding up. The pressure pot and everything, like I didn't have a pressure pot when I first started, but for dice it's kind of a... I do make my own molds. I've done a couple of streams in which I've made molds, but maybe I'll have to do that again at some point. It's actually not, I don't know, it's kind of, it can get a little tedious, I think, making molds. It's not my favorite thing to do, even though I do it like at least every other week. Ooh, come on, go in there. Alright, there's those in there. That's pretty perfect. Pick up a couple more petals to add to the D10 here. Once you get a hang of it, though, it's not too bad. But no, it is. It can, I don't know. I find it that it can get a little tedious, but not every. Like some people love it. like some people are like, yeah, molding things. There's another dice maker on here, Scryer, and we're a little bit opposite in that she's like a-okay making molds, whereas I find it kind of tedious, and then like I'm a-okay sanding dice, which can be tedious, but like she finds super tedious, so it's just kind of funny. There. All right, now all we have left is the 20 here. I'll be good to go. No, I might have to start doing keycaps, because I've had a couple people ask about keycaps, and it's in kind of the same sort of size, I guess, as dice, and it's, you know, there's probably people that don't play D&D that might want some little tiny resin things, so maybe I'll have to start doing that. I've thought about it for a while. I just haven't gotten around to like ordering molds for it or figuring out how to make my own molds for it. There's a couple things that I want to like make my own molds for. I still think it'd be really cool to do like custom video game controllers. That's something that I think would be. Oh, do they? All right, that might be a way to go. Oops. It's kind of yeah. I have, like I said, I've thought about it. Maybe I'll start doing that. But it's almost more difficult, I think, to work in like smaller. At least so with. I don't know how much work goes into the keycaps. I've never done it before. So dice, a lot of work goes into it because they're so small that like any little flaw is noticeable. Oh, okay, cool. I didn't know if there was a huge market for it. Like I said, I had like a couple people ask, but I didn't realize that it was something that was that big. Oof, just a second here. A couple of these flowers, one of these flowers is falling apart a little bit. This is the problem with the D20, is that the opening compared to the die is so small. Okay, I think we're good. Crisis averted. It lost a petal. I'll shove that in there. And there's one petal here that I'm going to put in. But I think we're good. I think these are going to turn out nice. We'll see how watercolor it is, but hopefully it'll be all good. And we'll do a little bonus here. We'll do a little bonus D4. And for this one, I have some little single flowers that I'm just going to have kind of float in here. The idea. I lost a petal. Yeah, there's so many things I want to do in so little time. But maybe I should just. Do people usually make their own molds for keycaps, or do they order them? Do they just like order? I don't know much about them. That's the only reason I haven't really started doing it, is because I don't know much about it. Alright, we're going to add a little bit of this to all the lids here and put these off to the side. It really just takes a little tiny bit. There is there's purple flakes on the lid here, though. Let's get that off. Alright. So I just add a little tiny bit to the lid. I don't want any bubbles to get trapped between the lid and the die. So, and we're just going to add a little tiny bit. And hopefully we'll have enough here left over to fill up this crystal. So, and I think we will, because it, again, it doesn't take a lot here. I'll probably pull a little bit off this D4. It's that D4. Alright. If they do resin, it's usually through a pre-made mold, but if it's like something custom, you'll have to find a third-party build it or make the... Oh, I was just talking about the mold for the keycaps themselves. Like, the stuff, like, inside of the keycaps, that's not an issue. I've done all sorts of different things in dice. I've done some polymer clay stuff and that sort of thing. I'll see if I can find a photo. I did one with a little tiny dog in it. But yeah, I don't know. I think keycaps might be fun because it's, again, a similar scale. I think I could do some cool things in there. I just have to. I just wasn't sure, one, that there was a huge market for it, and I also don't know how they work. Do you have to get like a separate piece, like plastic piece, to attach to it, or is it like just the resin piece? Because I know with like keyboards, there's like the key, and then there's also like the plastic piece that has kind of a hinge to it that attaches to the keyboard. Is it just the resin piece, or is it also that plastic piece that people usually do? I don't know if you have the answer to that or not, but if you do, I'm curious. Alright, there's that. Come to the perfect amount, actually, that we ended up. I am going to try and grab just some petals, I think. Put in here. And I'm just kind of sticking them to the end of this, and then putting them down in here. There's a base and a top you can purchase that you can pour resin to it, but it's just plain. I'm not sure if I quite understand. Are you saying that there's like a lid? Because that makes sense to me, because you need both the keycap shape and the bottom shape so that it'll actually connect to the keyboard. So people buy the base, which is the part that connects to the keyboard, and build on the base for different designs. Oh, I see what you're saying. I think. I don't have a keyboard handy, but I was just wondering, there's a piece that's not the key itself that connects the key to the keyboard. And I was wondering whether that was usually included as part of the keycap, or if that was something that you just connect it to that part. The person who buys the keycap. I guess I'll have to look into it a little bit more. I can do some research. Maybe I'll make a note of that in my planner to do some research into that. I just wasn't sure, kind of, I don't know, kind of things that people made, but there's all sorts of things that I want to make, I suppose. But if there's a demand for keycaps, like, sure, I'm down for making whatever. If people are interested. Set these in here. I think they might have been on my Amazon wish list. That's true, because I had looked into it at one point. I was thinking about it. I just haven't gotten around to it yet. Just like I have a mold for dominoes. Haven't gotten around to it. Just haven't gotten around to it yet. Like, I'd like to make them at some point, but I still haven't. I want to make some more trays. That one goes over here. I don't know why I'm setting this up over here. This is not where I need it. I'm going to set these over here, out of my way. Alright, putting this over here, out of my way, so I can make everything else. And I'm leaving the lids off for now, just so all the bubbles can rise to the surface and I can pop them before putting the lids on. I want to make sure that all of that is all set. Okay. Alright. Next, let's do the feathers next. That's going to be, I think, the best. We're going to do about 15 milliliters of this and 15 of the other one, which I'm going to do green. So 15. There's a hair on there. We're going to do 15 here. About half and half. Alright. To the line, I want to make sure that I have enough. Okay. 15 and 15. And this one I'm going to add. Maybe I'll have to get those for myself. I had forgotten that I'd found some molds, actually. To be quite honest, I'd forgotten that I'd found those. I don't want this very dark, I just want kind of a very pale green. And we're going to try and work some of this foil and copper up into here, fairly small pieces. I might actually want to add a little bit more, I don't know. I think that's okay. A few kind of larger pieces, some smaller pieces, I think that's kind of nice. I'm going to do the same here. This one's just going to be clear with the foil. Has a little bit of a gold shimmer to it, hopefully. A little tiny bit of gold shimmer. But it's going to have a feather in there over by this clear, so it's not going to be like boring or anything. Alright, so these ones. This is the mold that I stained these molds a little bit with my last set that I did in there. But alright. I'm not sure how I'm feeling about the green now that I actually have it out here, but I'm going to go for it anyways. Alrighty. So I'm going to do kind of a similar thing where I dip these into the clear before putting them in, because I want to try and make sure there's no air bubbles in them. And also I want to make sure that no air gets trapped between them and the bottom of the mold. That's kind of the biggest concern with here. So let's just kind of put this in. And kind of drag it into a spot that we want. It's kind of hard to see, but I'm just kind of trying to get it so that it kind of lies towards the bottom. And do that with all of these before I continue. What is on there? And I am ending up with some air bubbles on here. Like, it's not too worried about that, because again, I'm just trying to make sure that I don't really have any air between, that gets trapped. There's a little bit of air in here and then it makes its way to the surface, then it's fine. It doesn't really matter. Let's see, there's a guide called Z-Butts, funny name, by Zappy Kathy, and they did a whole top to bottom on how to make artisan keycaps. Oh, they're also on Etsy selling the molds. Ah. Is that on like YouTube, or where is this? Is there? I guess I can Google it, but I'd be curious to know, because that would be useful. I haven't done a ton of research into it, so. Oh, cool. Perfect. Give me just a second here. Let me open that so I have it. Cool. I will check that out probably after the stream, depending on how late we go. I don't think it'll be too late now that I've actually poured resin. We've got a little bit of a time frame. So. I always like, I don't know, feathers and florals. I just enjoy enjoy working with both of those things. We're going to cut off the tip of this feather. Have you finished your drawing that you were working on? Or have you started on another drawing of pretty girls? You finished the lady? Alright. Excellent. Alright. I'm a little distracted trying to put all these feathers in. Because I do have a time frame that I'm working on. Like, you know, it has a work time to it. That's part of the reason that I'll do 3 sets of dice at a time. Because I've found that doing I can fit 3 sets of dice on this tray to put in the pressure pot. I could do more, but 3 fits comfortably. And 2, that's the number that I can make before I run out of work time. And things get a little bit too, you know, thick for me to work comfortably. Alright. Let me clear these off because I'm done with those now, I think. Ooh, dice! Yes, I'm making dice! Alright, and then I'm gonna do some of this. I'm gonna fill it up to about halfway, I think. Oh! I passed! Thanks for following. Yeah, fill that up about halfway, and then we'll do some of the green. That's the idea, anyways. How do you make my molds? You just spot some online. I can show you. Just like I have basically ordered. There was a company that I talked to, and they made me like basically 3D printed custom dice for me. So with my logo on it and the font that I wanted. And I went and polished those all up, and it took me like 8 hours to polish them. Like, seriously, it took me a long time to polish them. And then I take those and I place them onto, well, I use Lego bricks actually to make kind of a base for my mold. We were just talking about keycaps and how I don't know anything about keycaps, but I want to make them. Perfect. That's so funny. We were literally just talking about keycaps and how I was like, oh, I'd like to make keycaps, but I have no idea. Do people make their own molds for that? Or like, oh, that's really funny. Dice are fun too. Yeah, I am happy to answer questions about dice. That's part of the reason I stream. But now I'm gonna grill you about keycaps because I'm curious about them. But no, I feel like dice are not too bad. I just stick one side down to some tape, and then I have like a case around it that I make with Legos. That's why I bought some molds. And then maybe I'll have to do a stream on molds again, guys. Oh, you use Legos there too. They just work. You can make whatever size. Like what would you call it? It's a mold for your mold. You can make whatever size you want and everything, so it's just useful. Alright, there's the clear. So it's probably pretty similar, actually. 5x5 is usually the perfect mold size. Well, let's see, I think 5x5 is usually what I use for these, and then these are 4x4. Because there's different size dice. It's the same 100%. It really does seem like it. Yeah. I guess I don't know. Where do you get your like original keys for making the keycaps molds? For making the molds? Because like with the dice, I just ordered them from like a company that 3D printed them for me. You can get a set of master dice. Oh, okay. Mix them with clay. Okay. I never thought about that. That makes sense to me. That's a good point. I could do that. I have like, do you use like polymer clay or? Take a key off. I was worried about like, I wasn't sure if that was like illegal or something because it's stealing some, like, I don't know. I don't know if that's like taking someone. Yeah, polymer clay, Sculpey. Yeah, same thing. I wasn't sure if like that was a bad thing or something. It's legal. Okay. Wait, what characters are we talking about? Oh, like one that someone else sculpted? Yeah. No, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that. That's obviously someone else's design. I wasn't sure for like stealing one off of my keyboard though, if that was like bad form or something. I don't know. I don't know anything about making keycaps. Oh, if it makes you feel better, this room does not have a vent in it, and it's very cold right now. But no, that's probably. But no, that is good on you for being in a ventilated area. I definitely don't have a. This room's not like. I don't use it a ton if I'm not doing arts and crafts, but it's definitely not ventilated very well. Oops, there's a cat hair in there. Used to do it in your bedroom? Hey, I'm not gonna talk. I definitely started out doing resin without a respirator on. Yep, same. I used to just breathe it in. Same. I finally decided to get like a respirator and stuff once I started doing this more. Because I just used to do like a little tiny bit of resin stuff. I did mostly like soap. So I was definitely bad about, actually being safe about it and stuff, because I figure like it's mostly a prolonged. Yes, I do have a pressure pot. It's very useful for dice, I've found. And also, when you're working on such a small scale, I feel like bubbles are so much more noticeable. Like, you can definitely tell that it's not crystal clear. Whereas if I'm doing like a tray or something and there's bubbles in it, it's not as big of a deal, but... Alright, there's that. It's a very, very pale green, which is kind of what I wanted. We'll see how that looks. Okay, there's definitely a lot of bubbles on top here. We're going to let these sit for a minute, let some of those bubbles rise to the surface, and then we'll pop those. I'm thinking that probably making keycaps and making dice is not too different. But that makes sense to me now that you would make them do it at the same time. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm starting to think that it's not super different. So that could be fun. Oh yeah, no, yeah, exactly. I could definitely use designs for both. I've got a little bit of resin left here. That's okay. Just gonna come over here too. I'm letting these sit with the caps off because I want the bubbles to pop. Okay, I think I'm definitely gonna have enough resin for everything. So this one I'm gonna go about a little bit less than 20, about 20-ish. Just a second. I'm gonna have to read that after I pour this because I'm not wearing my glasses. Let's see if I may not have enough for that actually. Let's see. If you don't. Wait, what is Oh, that was something that I was thinking of. I was thinking it'd be really cool to take like a whole keyboard, make a mold, and like do a completely custom keyboard. I've been thinking it'd be really cool to do like. I really want to do like custom video game controllers. I think that'd be really cool. I think it'd be really cool to do like a custom video game controller. Alright, a little bit of black. Probably more than I need actually, but that's okay. You know, it's kind of sad that I don't really know what you're talking about, considering I worked IT for 5 years. Wait, what? Oh no, guys, I am not a computer person. Again, ironic considering I worked IT for 5 years, but these are, I don't know. This is that when I learned that dongle was a real word in computer lingo, and I'm like, that's not a real word. I have no idea what you guys are talking about. So wait, what cable? Dongles? Hey, it's a thing. Treadmills? That's something you run on. Now you're just messing with me. Wait, VR treadmills. Oh, that makes sense. That does make sense. Alright. These ones are just getting black in them because the color should be on the outside. So. Do keep Oh no. Oh no, there's 2 of them. I am so lost. Well, I'm just gonna hang out here in my own little world. I don't know anything about what you guys are talking about. Oh, I see what you're saying. So did you make like a whole custom keyboard then? Is that what you're saying? Oh, cool. Alright, so we should have, I think, so we got a little bit extra of that. Let's try and do this D6 and this D4. So what I'm trying to do here is make a very light color, like light honey color, which is going to be difficult. Let's go about 7.5 here. So I'm use this both. Yeah, this is starting to get thicker for sure. So I don't think I'll have enough for that other set of D6s, which is fine. Those were just in case I had needed to make some spare. Oh, actually, no, I'm not going to be doing this today because I didn't set up for this. I have something I need to do to set that up. That's fine, though. I guess I am actually going to work on this. Yeah, I'm always happy to show off, so I will happily show off some of the stuff I've made. Yeah, we're gonna do these because I didn't do the prep work for that D6. I didn't think about it. This is what I'm saying. Like I always have to like triple check that I've done everything. That's fine. I can do that. What is today? Today is what? Today's Wednesday. Yes, I have pinata inks. I also got some cheap like resin pigments on Amazon, and they work surprisingly well. Like I was kind of pleasantly surprised. Hopefully, I have enough resin here for these. It's going to be embarrassing if I do not. I need probably about 10. Oh, it's so hard to get in England. I don't know anything about other brands, to be fair. I don't know if there's like a one that's easier to get in England. Pinata's the best? Okay, that's good to know. It seems to be what people have. So, and that's honestly, I'm glad to know that because my grandma asked about alcohol inks earlier today, and I'm like, that's the one that I have. So hopefully that means that she's going to get pinatas as well, which are, if they're the best, then that's good. Yeah, it seems to be the one that people have. I wasn't sure if it was just because it was a good like price to like quality ratio sort of thing. But I can have enough. Let's see. Where's my good price? Well, no, but I mean like, you know how some, I'm not saying, yeah, well I'm not saying, well, alcohol inks are just expensive in general, but I don't doubt it. But I'm saying like compared to, if you compare like, yeah, this one, how expensive it is, like some things are going to be way expensive and some things are going to be less expensive and then some things are going to be better quality. I'm wondering if they're in that middle zone of like good quality and lower price, but obviously not, since you're going to pay a whole bunch anyways. I'm hoping, is this about 10? Just a second here, let me look at one, because I can't see the, yes, this should be enough, I think. Excellent. So what I'm doing here, I've only got one, but I'm going to stack them. This is actually the last ones that I'm going to do. It's just these two little D6s. So I have two sets, a set of fate dice, and then these D6s. So I did like 100 milliliters of resin. And I'm doing these to match some other dice. I'll show you in a moment. No, I just one keycap is like 5 milliliters. A set of dice is about 30. Yeah. Yeah, so one of these is about 5. That makes sense, they're about the same size. So what I'm doing here is I'm doing a drop of each one of these. Dark green. This one's not mixed very well. We'll see if we get much of this green because it's separated. That's okay, I don't want to keep mixing it a whole bunch. One of that. I'm not dropping it directly into the mold. I put a little bit of resin down. If I put it directly into the mold, it does stain the molds. I have a set that I pulled out today. And there's no, here I'll show you, there's no actual red in this resin. That's just the mold that I stained red. Yeah, that one's on me. I kind of knew that was going to happen, but I did it anyways. Alright, and then I'm going to fill it up the rest of the way. I'm trying to get kind of a watercolory effect in here by kind of sandwiching that in the middle and then displacing it a little bit. Oops, let's put some of that over here. And I'm just going to kind of swirl it a little bit as well. Get that dark green dispersed a little bit. Come on. I'm talking about you, dark green. Come on, disperse. These are the resin pigments. I'm pretty sure they are, I think they might be water-based. It's like a little bit's fine. Yeah, I'm reaching the end of my pot life here, and also I just use a fairly thick resin. So I'm towards the end. This is the end. Go on without me. So I'm just gonna try and use up the last little bit of resin here, and then spray all these, and then pop the bubbles and put these in the pressure pot. I have some extra here. Let's make like just an extra die. Let's do just like a D6 maybe. We're just gonna put this in a D6 mold. Oh, actually, let me grab a D4 first. I have little D4 molds, and then when people order a set of dice, I send them like an extra D4 of just from my dump mold stuff. I use them as a dump mold. So we'll do that, and that has all the bubbles in it. And then I'll use this D6. What about Etsy? Asking what is my Etsy or what is Etsy? What? Oh. What's a Etsy? It's in my about. If you go below this video and go to About Me, there is a link to my shop. There's not a ton in there at the moment. There'll be a restock on February 5th. So, and I should have quite a bit more in there then. I should actually update that. I might not have it updated on here to say that, but I really should. But it is Alchemist's Attic Shop, I believe, on Etsy. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Alchemist's Attic Shop. I would type it out for you, but my hands are a little goopy at the moment. Do you stream on your resin stuff on Twitch, or cause you do keycaps, right? Or do you just like watching other people, which is a-okay as well? I'm just curious. Just do it for fun. No, that's fair. I mean, I just kind of do it for fun too, but watch others. I mean, I guess that's kind of how I started out. I didn't watch a ton of stuff on Twitch, and then I had it recommended to me that I start streaming arts and crafts, and now I'm just like, this is fun. Alright, just trying to use up a little bit of this extra resin, and I've got pretty much nothing left. That's good. That's pretty much everything. Oops, there's a hair here. Not many people live stream. I guess to be fair, not a ton of people live stream dice either. There's like 3 of us, I think, that I know of. So, but that, yeah, I think it'd be fun to branch out to keycaps. Maybe I'll figure out some molds for that, and then do that one of these days too. Cause I do dice making like pretty much every Wednesday, and then Saturdays I do kind of molds for keycaps or harder. Well, I might order some molds. Okay, yeah, I think it'd be great. Where do I want to put this in? Well, let's just do. Alright, yeah, if you have recommendations on what I should do on that front, I am all ears. Okay. Alright, let me just put the last little bit in this mold, and I won't even put the lid on. Alright, I think that's pretty much everything. Alright, so a lot of people will take like a torch to their stuff to pop the bubbles. I just use rubbing alcohol because it doesn't seem to it doesn't affect the setup, and also I have it on hand. I did soap making before this, and you use rubbing alcohol for that as well, so worked out. And it breaks the surface tension of the resin, so it pops up bubbles. If there's still a few bubbles and stuff, we'll just. Oh, it looks like it did get all watercolory, so that's good. It looks like stuff is flowing around in here, Jen. So that's exciting. I do want to make sure that there's no bubbles trapped in the numbers here. That tends to happen. I will, give me just a moment here. I'll click on that so that I don't lose it. I'll open that so I don't lose it. But I'm going to get all the bubbles out of these numbers, because I do not want gaps. That's exactly what I do not want, is any big bubbles. Oh, that's not, is that, yeah, okay. Nice, this guy. Alright, I will take a look at that in a moment. Alright, let me make sure I have these bubbles out of here, and then I'll put these lids on. Just a few bubbles. And they definitely don't pop as well once I get to this point where it's rather thick, but alright. Let's get these all set up. Yeah. I was very confused for a moment there because I was thinking that like the same person had linked the same thing twice. Because you've both been talking about keycaps. I was just like, I feel like we were just talking about that. So make sure those are on there. Make sure that's nice and flat. Don't want to push down too much. I don't have like the right kind of 3D printer, unfortunately. Maybe I'll get one at some point because it would be useful for dice too, but that's a bit of an expense that I don't know I could justify at the moment. Alright. This one has some bubbles in it. Get out of there, bubble. I have to get caught in the corners. Okay. Put this lid on. This lid, really I should have made this lid a little bit thicker so that it was a little bit heavier to press down a little bit more. But I might. That's okay. Right, let me get all of these on, and then we can chat. I can show off a little bit. This one's not like my other ones. This one's I actually do press down. Okay. I have high hopes for these dice gen. I think they're going to turn out well. I will be sure to send you photos tomorrow when I pull them out. But I have high hopes. These things seem to be looking correct already. Does that make sense? Perfect, perfect. I look forward to seeing your drawings of pretty ladies. Okay, just like this. Alright. I haven't really worked with any other kind of clay. I inherited a whole bunch of polymer clay from my grandma. She's still alive, so that sounds bad, but she doesn't have the hand dexterity for it anymore. But I ended up with a whole bunch of polymer clay from her, so I haven't really worked with anything else since I haven't really had the need to. Or are you talking to Reach? I'm not like opposed to trying something else. I just haven't had the need to. Let's not do that. Let's not drop things. That one might have a few bubbles in it. Hopefully, those work their way out. This one has a bubble. I can show you some stuff that I've made with polymer clay too. After I get all these lids on and get things in the pressure pot. They're so slippery. I'll make sure that lid's on good. Do some simple caps with polymer. I wonder if I could do some waxes too, because like with so for like doing metal casting, you'll carve waxes for it. I wonder if I could do that to make molds. I bet that would work. Tiny makes things. I will have to look them up as well. I'm not pushing these down, I just want to make sure that they are in the right spot. I just kind of wiggle them into place. So I don't want there to be any like gaps once I put them in the pressure pot. Here's the there's that. Looks like the petals floated, which doesn't surprise me, but I don't think it'll be too much of an issue with these lids on. Oh, I always love seeing people who are good at things do them. So I love looking at like artists' Instagrams and stuff. It's just I don't know, there's something satisfying about it. If you have photos of your work as well, I'd love to see it. I'm always interested to see what the people in the chat make and what they're working on. I don't know. I think of this as kind of like a space to work on projects together and chat. So I always like seeing what everybody else is working on too. Big bubble there. I'm making such a mess. One second here. I think I could, I don't know, I might try making my own molds for it by stealing some keys from a keyboard. Okay, that's all of that, I think. Let me put this in the pressure pot. Let me just put it here. Let me make sure. Give me just a second here. I'll angle this so you can see what I'm doing. Just putting things in the pressure pot over here. In my messy workspace. Make sure do I have enough air in my so give me just a moment and then I can show you some of the stuff that I've made. Here you can see the painting that I made recently on stream, but I want to make sure these are on here as tight as possible. Okay. Give me a second. I'm going to take this up to about 40 psi and then we'll be good to go. There we go. There's all that. I think you have one thing that's gotten close to being recently that you're happy with. Oh. Are you saying that as a yay, you got something done that you're happy with, or a, oh no, there's only one thing? I feel like that could go either way. Like, woo, you made something cool. Or, oh. And then let's see, you guys were asking about things that I have made. I don't have anything super interesting here at the moment. Here, I'll show off some polymer clay stuff. Both, yeah, sure. Let's see. So I have some like mushroom necklaces that I make. So here's like a little polymer clay mushroom. Made some of those. Some little polymer clay mushrooms. Here's a little teacup that I've made. I painted some little flowers on the side. It's kind of hard to see, but little teacup. All sorts of things in here. Where's my little skull? There's a little skull that I made. Yeah, there's a little tiny skull that I made out of polymer clay. Yeah, I know. I'm saying there's a lot of. I feel like there's a lot of overlap in things here that we could do. Oh, thank you. But let's see, dice-wise. Let's see if, oh, gosh. I got rubbing alcohol on here, and also it's a little sticky, which is suspect. Okay, let's see, what have I made? Let me see if I can, well, I've done some painting too, like, I have stuff like that I've done. That's an acrylic. I do all sorts of different things. So there's that one. I'm just showing these off because I already had them here on my stream thing. Let me, just thinking of how, like, I can show off some stuff I made. This is it's obviously the stream's not going to be starting in just a moment, but I have a slideshow here of some of my work. These are, there's some space ones I did. Those are some of the first ones that I did, actually, the space ones. And I usually try to keep those in stock. I don't know, let's see if we get to any of my more interesting ones here. I'll look on my phone, too. That has all sorts of different stuff and not real. Let me see here. What do I got? What have I done recently? I was showing these off recently. I was doing, I have a set of bumblebee dice that I'm working on. Bumblebee themed dice. Those are the ones that I was like, oh, I can't actually do those. I need to do some setup. So like, here's one with like an actual bumblebee in it. Some swirls of white in there. I found this bumblebee, like, dead on the sidewalk. I didn't kill it or anything. But I really like working with florals. Like, I don't know, I really like doing flowers and stuff. Let me find, what have I got sitting around? Here's a set that I just pulled out today. And they don't look super exciting, but they have little tiny glow-in-the-dark stars in them, and the idea is that you can't see them, and then you turn off the light and you can see the stars. So yeah, let's see if I can, I guess you can see this. So there's little tiny stars in there that you'll only be, that glow in the dark, but the dice don't. So that's fun. I don't have a ton of super interesting ones off to the side. This is one of the ones that we just made. Is this, like, it's fairly simple, but it's just the purple and like orange multichrome, which is really pretty. Hello, I'm doing show and tell. I'm trying to show. Wait, you're the one that asked. Just a moment. Aren't you the one? Wait, one of you asked. You're back to see. Oh no! Wait, I think you missed my polymer clay show and tell. I'm bringing back my polymer clay to show you my little tiny things that I have made. Like my little tiny teacup. Little tiny teacup. A tiny teacup with little flowers on the side. Or with my little skull again. I've lost the little skull again. Here it is. Or little tiny skull. Little tiny skull. Make 20 of those. I have multiple teacups here. I just haven't painted or filled in the other ones. I have more than I made. I have like 4 or 5 here. Not 10. Make 20 of those and put them in teacups. I know. I think that the teacups would be really cute in teacups. But let's see. Dice wise, I was showing off over here. Oh, it goes back to the same one. What do I got over here? Oh. Here, just a second. Just a second here. Let me see if I can add that particular slideshow. Yes. Okay. Just a second here. So I'm just going to add this we can look at. There we go. We're just gonna we'll just look at some of the stuff that I've made. I made these dice and pulled them out today too. That was kind of what I was going for. No, let me go back to. No, this was a mistake. But that's kind of what I was going for. Was kind of like a blood splatter kind of look. So like, I could see that with like the skull and bones. Like that could turn out. Like, let's do some kind of try to do kind of a blood splatter look with the skull and bones in it. I feel like that could turn out. But no, I don't know. I like making stuff. I'm making all sorts of stuff. I painted this on stream not too long ago. Oh, I could splatter the bones. True. That's a good point. That is a good point. Thanks. It's not done yet, but we made that on stream. It took a lot less time than I was expecting it to. But, yeah, I don't know. To be fair, I've been doing all sorts of arts and crafts since I was very little. Like, I've always done arts and crafts. I don't know. It's my thing. If it makes you feel better, I'm not really good at anything else. This is where my singular talent lies, is in being fairly okay at different artistic things. To be fair, I'm not very good at drawing. I can paint, but I can't draw very well. I'm thinking that we'll learn that a little bit on Saturday, because I'm planning to stream some digital drawing. I got a drawing tablet recently. So we're gonna try on Saturday we're gonna try and do some digital drawing and see how that goes. But I'm definitely more of a painter than a drawer. But so that's the plan for Saturday. I stream on Wednesdays and Saturdays, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So you can, feel free to stop by. I know that you're in a completely different time zone. You here? All right, cool. Yeah, but love to have you. But okay, I think that's pretty much everything for tonight. I've got all the stuff for the pressure pot. I've done my show and tell / showing off thing. But we'll see how those turn out, and I will hopefully see you guys on Saturday. But I think we are all set for the night. So thank you guys for stopping by. Hopefully I'll see you then. And have a good night. Or morning. I don't know what time it is for you.